prices for Costco's new July arrivals are so low that many people want to run to the warehouse right away. However, 3 of these items are wrapped in a layer of clever technology and marketing. If you don't know about them beforehand, it's very easy to waste your money and waste your time standing in line to return them. You'd be awesome if you subscribe and like this video. One Soundcore Boom 3i Bluetooth speaker. Anchor Innovations, the company behind the Soundcore brand, has just launched the newest version of its boom line. And this update tackles the exact problem anyone who has ever bought a waterproof speaker has faced. The vast majority of speakers in this category will capsize immediately if hit by a single wave or a splash of water. The Boom 3i automatically rights its position when dropped into water, always keeping the speaker face pointing upward so the sound remains clear even while it is floating out in the pool. It also boasts a true IP68 rating, meaning it can withstand dust, salt water, and full submersion, rather than just surviving a few raindrops like many other products labeled waterproof. The 16-hour continuous battery life means you can take it with you for an entire weekend at a lake house without worrying about finding an outlet. The Bluetooth connection takes only about 10 seconds and automatically remembers the last device, so you don't have to go through the hassle of pairing it every single time. The exterior is also finished with a corrosion-resistant coating, so even if you take it to the beach a dozen times in one summer, it still won't show any signs of rust like many other speakers do after a few months of exposure to salt. Here is the part worth noting. Walmart sells the exact same model with the same software and the same warranty for around $140. The $74.99 price tag at Costco is not for a stripped-down version or last year's leftover stock. It is the exact same speaker, just on a different shelf, at nearly half the price. If you've been hesitant to buy a decent outdoor speaker because the price always felt too high, this is the week the math finally makes sense. 2. Bagolini Expandable Travel Tote. This Bagolini tote bag sits at a $49.99 price point and has been getting a lot of buzz lately, and the reason doesn't lie in its exterior looks. Premium, highly water-resistant nylon, and a breathable structure. That's the first impression when you pick it up. But the part that makes this bag truly worth the money lies in a small detail at the bottom. A zipper track that, when opened, drops the bottom of the bag lower, significantly increasing capacity without making the bag bulky when you don't need to use its full capacity. The bag also comes with several fabric packing cubes, helping you separate underwear, charging cables, or worn clothes after a trip without having to rummage through the entire bag to find each item. The back of the bag features a luggage sleeve to slide straight over a suitcase roller handle, a design feature that frequent business travelers absolutely love, as it saves them from having to carry an extra bag on their shoulder during long treks through the airport. The bag comes in 2 colors, black and plum, both of which are easy to match with outfits and aren't too flashy when rolling through international security checkpoints. At $49.99 for a bag with this level of craftsmanship, this is an item you should snag if your family has plans to fly far this summer season. One small detail that many people tend to overlook is that this nylon material is also quite lightweight. The entire bag weighs less than a pound when empty, so even if you stuff a few extra items inside, it won't leave your shoulders exhausted when you have to carry it across multiple connecting gates. 3. Chobani Chocolate Pistachio Coffee Creamer. A new flavor from Chobani's coffee creamer line has just hit the shelves. Chocolate pistachio, priced at $7.39 for the oversized bottle. And this is one of the few creamers that manages to maintain a natural richness without relying on sugar or preservatives. The ingredients consist only of real fresh milk, which is completely different from many cheap coffee creamers that are packed with hydrogenated vegetable oil just to lower production costs. Its flavor profile is quite balanced, offering just the right amount of sweetness and richness without being as cloying as one might initially imagine from such a fancy-sounding name. In terms of pricing, the oversized bottle at Costco is about $2 to $3 cheaper than the same volume at regular grocery stores. A small difference, but one that adds up over an entire year of drinking coffee every morning, making it well worth considering. 4. Jesse and Ben's Sea Salt Beef Tallow Potato Chips. The 2 former college students behind the Jesse and Ben brand probably never expected their homemade potato chip recipe to become such a sensation that many small stores run out of stock every time a new batch arrives. The combination of sea salt and natural beef, tallow creates a unique airy crunch and deep, savory richness, the kind of flavor that many people admit makes it hard to stop once you take a bite. This time, Costco managed to negotiate a bulk 32-ounce bag, Breaking it down, it costs only about 38 cents per ounce, whereas buying a small bag of this same brand at Target runs around 54 cents per ounce. The difference might sound small, but when multiplied for a family that frequently gathers on weekends, it turns into savings worth setting aside. This item is perfect to stock up on for football watching sessions or summer backyard patio parties. It saves money and keeps you from worrying about running out in the middle of things when more guests show up than expected. Because natural beef tallow is used instead of conventional vegetable oil, this bag of chips has a slightly shorter shelf life than commercial, mass-produced chips. So it's best to only buy enough for about a month instead of stockpiling it for too long in your kitchen pantry. Before scrolling on, keep in mind that just because an item is labeled energy efficient doesn't mean it will do its job well. And the following section is the clearest example. 5. PIC Solar-Powered Bug Zapper. A solar-powered bug zapper priced at $29.99 sounds highly reasonable for the summer. No electricity costs while keeping mosquitoes away. But this happens to be one of the 3 items you should skip in this product lineup. A large number of Costco members have encountered the exact same issue after bringing it home. The included solar panel has quite poor efficiency. Even after soaking up the sun all day, it only provides enough juice for the light to glow faintly for 1 to 2 hours in the evening. Ironically, right when mosquitoes are most active, the light is almost completely drained of energy. The intensity of the ultraviolet rays from this weak battery source is also not strong enough to attract insects from afar. So most of the time, it just sits there like a useless piece of decor, rather than fulfilling its main duty. The stake used to anchor the light into the ground is also rather flimsy. Just a late afternoon breeze can leave it tilting sideways, and some people have even reported that the light stand snapped after a few weeks outdoors. If you truly need to eliminate mosquitoes for a night sitting in the backyard, it's better to choose a direct plug-in model or a high-powered battery trap. As for this nearly $30, you're much better off saving it to buy citronella candles, which are far more practical. In general, whenever you see a product labeled solar-powered for things that require continuous power, like a bug zapper, you should carefully check real-world reviews before buying. In most cases, the included panel only has enough power to feed a nightlight bulb, not for heavier-duty tasks. 6. Chenille Noodle Hand Towels. The Chenille Noodle Hand Towel set, priced at $9.99 for 3, is a small item that many regular shoppers are quietly adding to their carts every time they stop by Costco. The fabric is woven more densely than standard cotton, offers superior absorbency, and dries very quickly after washing, without leaving lint stuck on surfaces like some other cheap towels on the market. What has made this item go viral on social media recently is its versatility. Wiping kitchen counters, drying hands in the bathroom, and even wiping pet fur after a bath all come out clean without shedding fabric fuzz all over the floor. After multiple machine washes, the durability of the towels remains intact, enough to completely replace the habit of using disposable paper towels, which is much more expensive in the long run. At under $10 for a set of 3, this is a small item well worth adding to your cart, especially for households with children or pets who frequently make messes around the house. Next up is an item that causes quite a few people to look back at their monthly utility and living bills, wondering why they paid so much more for something similar elsewhere. 7. Tresanti Adjustable Height Desk. This is an investment for your work-from-home setup. The 47-inch Tresanti Adjustable Height Desk, priced at $199.99. This belongs to the line of ergonomic desks, featuring a premium glass or wood tabletop depending on the version, an integrated smooth sliding drawer, and a color-changing decorative LED light strip built into the back, which is quite suitable for those who often work from home in the evening. The lifting mechanism runs on an electric motor. You simply press a button, and the desk automatically adjusts its height smoothly and quietly, without emitting the noisy motor sounds found in some other cheap product lines. This is the most valuable point because ergonomic desks with similar features at specialty furniture stores usually range in price from $600 to over $1,000, 3 to 5 times the price currently being sold at Costco. For those who work sitting down for many hours a day and are experiencing back pain or neck fatigue from sitting in one position for too long, this is an investment worth considering, both upgrading your work-from-home space and reducing pressure on your spine over the long term. Before installation, I recommend that you measure the clearance space under the desk beforehand, because the lifting mechanism requires a few extra inches of space underneath compared to a standard fixed desk, preventing the case where you buy it home only to find out it doesn't fit the pre-designated workspace in the room. 8. Landia 6-piece bathroom accessory set. 6 rust-resistant metal accessory pieces in a set priced at under $20 might sound like a compromise has to be made somewhere regarding durability. But the Landia bathroom accessory set does not follow that cliché path. Picking them up, you can already feel the real weight, and the coating layer is thick rather than paper-thin like the cheap items often encountered. Included in the set is a large towel bar for drying bath towels after washing, a separate towel ring for small hand towels right next to the sink, a wall-mounted toilet paper holder that keeps things tidy, and several robe hooks convenient for hanging bathrobes every morning when you wake up. The painted surface maintains its sheen for quite a long time without getting stained or yellowed, even when used in a humid environment for many months. Divided equally, each item in the set comes out to just over $3. An unbelievable figure when compared to the retail price of individual pieces at Home Depot or Lowe's, where a single metal towel bar can often equal the price of this entire 6-piece set. 9. Jolie Filtered Shower Head. The beauty of the Jolie Filtered Shower Head lies not just in the filtration itself but in what comes with it, something most similar products usually ignore in their advertising. For people living in areas with heavily chlorinated tap water, whose skin feels dry and tight, and whose hair gets frizzy after every shower, especially those with eczema-prone skin, this filter has been highly recommended through word of mouth recently due to its noticeable results. It requires no professional installation. You simply twist it to replace your old shower head onto the standard threads, and you're done. The common retail price on the market for this product is $169, but at Costco, it is only $139.99. And here's the best part. It also comes with 3 replacement filters, enough to last for an entire year. An ongoing expense after the initial purchase that many other brands usually stay silent about. These 3 included bonus filters are not cheap if bought separately, and each filter typically only lasts about 3 months before needing a replacement. Therefore, this bonus alone almost entirely offsets the price difference compared to buying just a shower head and trying to find replacement filters on your own outside. If you plan to buy everything on today's list without reading carefully, there is one item that will leave you having to explain to your family why you spent money on a feature that doesn't even exist. 10. Slumber Chill Cooling Sheet Set. There is a marketing buzzword being attached to quite a few bedding products lately. Cooling technology. It sounds very scientific, but for the most part, it is just a fancy name for a smooth, flat fabric weave. The Slumber Chill Sheet Set, priced at $44.99, is a classic example of this gimmick. The cool-to-the-touch sensation is real for the first 3 to 5 minutes when you first lay down, but right after that, the fabric begins to absorb body heat and traps that pocket of hot air for the rest of the night. More importantly, with this exact same $44.99, you can easily buy up to 2 traditional king-size sheet sets made of cotton or high-quality jersey knit. The kind that doesn't need a trendy label, but whose natural breathability and moisture-wicking abilities are what truly determine a good night's sleep. Don't pay extra for a feature that only exists on the packaging. 100% cotton remains the safe, time-tested choice over many years. 11. Food Saver Vacuum Sealer. Most vacuum sealers do just one thing: suck all the air out of the bag and then seal the edge, period. This new version of the Food Saver breaks through that familiar limitation with a mode never seen in previous generations called Marinate, which features a built-in marinade reservoir right on the machine's body. The vacuum pressure accelerates the process of infusing flavors into the meat fibers in just a few minutes, instead of having to wait overnight in the refrigerator like traditional marinating methods. The price for this new version is $99.99. However, if you only need to pack and preserve meat and fish from bulk buying, then portioning them out for gradual use, you don't need the quick marinating feature. The older models are currently being cleared out as leftover inventory in the back aisle, with a price ending in 0.97. Rock bottom at just $79.97, saving you $20 right away if your needs are simpler. 12. LifeTrend Cold Plunge Tub. Maintaining a membership at therapy centers or spas specializing in cold water therapy usually eats up an average of around $2,400 per year, which is not small at all for those who just want to improve blood circulation and reduce joint and bone aches after middle age. The $900 LifeTrend Cold Plunge Tub brings that exact experience right to your home. The tub's interior is designed deep enough to fully submerge the entire body, and the material retains temperature well so the cold water does not warm up too quickly. It also comes with a pressure pump and a closed-loop circulating filtration system, so you don't have to constantly change the water. Doing a simple math calculation makes it immediately clear. Spending $900 one time, compared to $2,400 per year to maintain a spa membership, allows this investment to break even in less than 5 months of use, while the remaining months of the year are practically free for the whole family. The cold water therapy trend is also nothing new. Many professional athletes have implemented it for a long time to reduce inflammation after workouts. It's just that previously, this type of equipment was almost only available at premium gyms and rarely appeared at a budget-friendly price point for households like this time. 13. Fantic Battery-Powered Pressure Washer. The name Fantic is certainly not unfamiliar to Costco regulars. This brand has established a quite solid foothold thanks to many automotive accessory lines that perform reliably over time. So when their mini battery-powered pressure washer appeared for only $39.99, quite a few people dropped it into their shopping carts right away, thinking they would no longer have to drag tangled electrical cords around every time they wash the car or spray down the yard. However, that faith ran into a rather harsh reality. On Costco's internal shopping forums, a wave of returns and one-star reviews for this product are rising at a dizzying pace. The water pressure is so weak that it is only slightly higher than a garden hose, making it almost useless against dried mud caked under the car chassis or long-standing moss on porch steps. The nozzle head and plastic connectors also leak water from the very first use, according to feedback from many customers. Meanwhile, the battery life is a total riddle. It takes a full 2 hours to charge but only runs for a mere 30 minutes, running completely out of juice before you can even finish spraying down the 4 wheels. If you truly need a portable pressure washer, it is better to invest in a direct plug-in model or one that uses an industrial-grade battery pack that is significantly larger than this mini line. Before moving on, you should know that there is an insurance premium that can skyrocket just because you lack exactly one thing in your car, and the next item happens to be the cheapest way to avoid that. 14. Type S 4K dash cam. In the past few years, staged accident scams to profit from insurance have been booming in many states, where scammers intentionally pull ahead and then slam on the brakes so the car behind crashes into their rear end. If there is no evidence, insurance companies almost automatically default the fault to the driver who hit from behind, leading to a family's insurance premiums skyrocketing for many consecutive years. The $69.99 Type S 4K dash cam acts as a silent witness that never lies. Just the fact that a scammer sees a lens mounted on the windshield is enough to make many staged incidents automatically stop midway. As soon as the product arrived at the warehouse, it was marked with a low stock sign, along with a limit of 5 pieces per customer, a quite clear signal that many experienced drivers are quietly stocking up. Picking it up, you can already feel the sturdy build quality, and the recorded footage is clear enough to read the opponent's license plate. Meanwhile, the camera body itself is compact enough to mount behind the windshield without blocking the line of sight during night driving. Exactly the kind of device that should be ready in the car before you need it, not after the incident has already occurred. 15. Eufy Security E340 Smart Doorbell. A lot of smart doorbells on the market sell their equipment at a pretty soft price at first, but then force you to pay additional monthly cloud storage fees, sometimes running up to $100 a year just to review a few seconds of video in front of your house. The $89.99 Eufy Security E340 doorbell goes against that approach. Data is stored directly on the device, so it doesn't cost an extra dime in maintenance fees, while also providing greater peace of mind regarding privacy because you don't have to send images of your home to a third-party server. The 2K resolution delivers crisp images, and the Color Night Vision mode helps identify the faces of people standing at the door much more clearly compared to the blurry, black and white images of many other cheap security cameras. Compared to maintaining a subscription plan from Ring or Blink, which can cost anywhere from $40 to $100 a year, this difference accumulated over a few years of use is already enough to buy another doorbell. The camera operates on a rechargeable battery, with a battery life that lasts for a few months on a single full charge, depending on how frequently people pass by the door. The phone app will alert you before the battery runs low so you can take it off to charge in time without interrupting surveillance capabilities. Before dropping any item into your cart, try asking yourself a simple question. If you stripped away all the technology or marketing labels, would this item still be worth that amount of money? This quick filtering method helps you avoid most shopping traps, and not just at Costco. Every time you swipe your Costco membership card, you are quietly pouring money into a health investment fund. 12 of the most worthwhile foods are yielding real returns, while exactly 3 unworthy foods are silently draining away your profits. And you very likely may not even know it. You'd be awesome if you subscribe and like this video. 1. Kirkland Signature Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil. A former dry grocery manager who once worked at a Costco location in Ohio recalled that whenever the company had internal quality audits or when independent third-party organizations came to pull samples for testing, the 2-liter bottle of Kirkland Signature organic olive oil was always the first item put on display, almost like a tacit source of pride for the entire warehouse. That is no coincidence. This is cold-pressed extra virgin oil that meets USDA organic standards, without any added canola or soybean oil, which many budget brands quietly blend in to lower costs. Furthermore, it is packaged in dark glass bottles to fully preserve the antioxidant polyphenols instead of thin plastic, which causes oil to easily degrade under supermarket lights. Because of this, quite a few people choose to drizzle it directly onto salads or boiled vegetables instead of just using it for frying or sautéing, as high heat will destroy a portion of these precious nutrients. The Mayo Clinic once emphasized that the monounsaturated fats in extra virgin olive oil are the foundation of the Mediterranean diet, helping to lower bad cholesterol and reduce arterial inflammation. With a price tag hovering around $25 to $30 for a 2-liter bottle, while the same imported organic segment at regular supermarkets usually costs no less than $18 per liter, this is almost the easiest add-to-cart decision on today's entire list. 2. Kirkland Signature Organic Maple Syrup. Few would expect a commercially bottled syrup to be strong enough to win over the connoisseurs of real maple syrup. Kirkland's organic maple syrup is sourced from naturally harvested grade A maple tree sap, with no high fructose corn syrup and no artificial coloring. At the same time, it has a lower glycemic index than white granulated sugar, along with the minerals manganese and zinc that support immunity and bone density in old age. A shopper in Vermont, a region famous for authentic maple syrup, once left a comment stating she was initially skeptical that a commercially bottled product could taste as good as syrup bought straight from her local hometown farms. However, after cross-checking the ingredients and tasting it, she confirmed that Kirkland sources from the exact same small farms in Quebec that many other premium brands use. A 1-liter bottle costs $12.59 at Costco, whereas a 12-ounce bottle of pure maple syrup at other organic grocery stores can run as high as $9 to $10. Not to mention, annual maple sap yields depend entirely on the weather, causing prices elsewhere to fluctuate much more unpredictably. 3. Kirkland Signature Organic Grass-Fed Ground Beef. Quite a few older customers standing in front of the fresh meat counter at Costco have asked employees why the grass-fed beef here is significantly cheaper than at regular markets, even though it is clearly labeled as 100% grass-fed. A former fresh meat department employee once explained that there is no mystery to the answer. Costco signs direct contracts with ranches for high-volume production, completely eliminating the distribution middlemen that drive up prices substantially at other supermarket chains. The meat is raised without antibiotics and without growth hormones. Thanks to a natural grass diet, its omega-3 and CLA, a fatty acid that aids in fat burning, content is noticeably higher compared to grain-fed industrial cattle. Additionally, dividing it into small portions and freezing it right after bringing it home preserves freshness longer and avoids the hassle of having to thaw a whole block just to cook one meal. A 3-pack weighing about 4 pounds costs only $20 to $22, which breaks down to less than $6 per pound, while the same type of grass-fed beef at Whole Foods or even Walmart typically ranges from $7.50 to $9.50 per pound. That price gap is enough to make up for a whole year of membership fees. This is a must-have item that should be permanently stocked in the freezer for anyone trying to eat clean without blowing their budget. But don't be in too much of a hurry to leave the fresh food area with peace of mind, because right ahead lies a food item so familiar that almost everyone has enjoyed it without ever thinking about the true price to be paid. Hot dog and soda combo at the food court. The $1.50 hot dog and soda combo has existed for 4 decades, acting almost as an unalterable promise from Costco to every member. And the company's founder once adamantly refused to let anyone touch that price, turning a cheap hot dog into a symbol of trust stronger than any advertising campaign. But behind that lovely price tag is a number few people notice. A single hot dog plus a cup of soda can contain up to 1,750 milligrams of sodium, equivalent to 76% of the recommended daily sodium limit. In your 20s, the body can still easily flush out that amount of salt. Past the age of 55, it is a completely different story. This is no longer just a convenient meal after a tiring time pushing the shopping cart, but a real strain on your blood pressure right at the moment you have just spent effort selecting the cleanest items for your shopping cart. There is no need to completely give up the habit of stopping by the food court. Just know that right in the dairy and frozen food section in the back, there are items that are quietly making it up to your skeletal and joint system in a much kinder way. 4. Kirkland's Signature Organic Greek Yogurt. A tub of Greek yogurt that looks like nothing special is quietly becoming an item that warehouse employees themselves scramble to buy before it even hits the shelves every time a new shipment arrives, according to a former dairy and frozen section manager. The Kirkland's Signature non-fat Greek yogurt consists solely of organic skim milk and live probiotic cultures, with no gelatin, no thickeners, and no added sugar. Few people notice that a serving of this type of yogurt also contributes a significant amount of iodine, a nutrient that quite a few older women are deficient in without even knowing it, instead of having to supplement it through iodized salt like before. A large 3-pound tub is just a little over $7, whereas a much smaller organic tub at regular supermarkets usually hits the $6.50 mark. For the same price, the difference in volume is clear, enough to serve as the base for both salad dressings and light desserts throughout the week, without the need to buy additional tubs. 5. Kirkland's Signature Shelled Unsalted Pistachios. An older customer once left a review that made quite a few people stop and read carefully, sharing that this was the only product that helped her eat pistachios again after years of having to give them up entirely because her arthritic hands no longer had the strength to crack open each hard shell. For many people over the age of 60, the fact that the nuts are already shelled is the most legitimate reason to keep renewing their membership card. Pistachios are naturally rich in potassium and phytosterols, a plant compound capable of competing for absorption with cholesterol in the gut. That is why many people consider this the safest snack in the kitchen pantry, especially since the unsalted version contains virtually zero sodium, making it perfect for those who need to manage their blood pressure but still crave a savory, flavorful bite to nibble on in the afternoon. A 24-ounce bag here saves about 40% compared to buying small, pre-shelled packages from other brands on the market. And for many people, not having to struggle with hard shells every night is worth even more than the money saved. 6. Seasoned brand sardines in olive oil. Not all canned seafood poses a heavy metal concern, and sardines are one of the few types sitting at the bottom of the ocean food chain, meaning they accumulate virtually no mercury compared to larger fish. At the same time, they provide a massive amount of calcium, vitamin D, and omega-3s, 3 nutrients always mentioned when discussing how to combat osteoporosis in older age. A regular shopper once shared that she switched completely from tuna to canned sardines after her doctor advised her to limit her mercury intake. What surprised her was that the flavor of the Seasoned brand line was significantly richer than the budget canned sardines she had bought before, tasting so good that she could eat it directly with bread without any extra preparation. An opened can can be tossed with a squeeze of lemon and some onions for a quick, hassle-free appetizer, requiring no stove time while still providing a nutritious, light lunch. A 6-pack costs $17, breaking down to less than $3 a can, whereas a single can of the same type at other supermarkets typically exceeds $4. And the upcoming section will touch upon 2 staples familiar to almost every kitchen, along with another warning that very few people would expect. 7. Kirkland's Signature Organic Frozen Blueberries. Kirkland's bag of organic blueberries is one of the few frozen items that many nutritionists genuinely recommend stocking up on year-round. The blueberries are flash frozen using IQF, individual quick freezing, technology right after harvest, with no added sugar and no preservatives, thus preserving almost the entire amount of antioxidants famous for protecting cells and slowing down skin aging. A former frozen warehouse employee once revealed that these bags of blueberries are typically packed on the exact same day they are harvested from Costco's partner farms in the Pacific Northwest. Therefore, despite being a frozen product, their nutrient content is often even higher than that of fresh berries left sitting for days at regular markets. A 5-pound bag here is only around $10 to $12, whereas a tiny 6-ounce clamshell of fresh organic blueberries at a regular supermarket easily runs about $4.50 and spoils very quickly. In terms of actual usable weight, this price gap is virtually unmatched. With its natural sweet and tart flavor and accompanying fiber, this is also an easy item to blend into morning smoothies or sprinkle over oatmeal without needing any other added sugar. Not to mention, the vitamin C content is kept almost fully intact thanks to being frozen right after harvest instead of gradually depleting during days of sitting on a fresh fruit shelf. 8. Brahmi high-protein pasta. 2 ingredients, exactly 2, are all that make up this pasta box currently catching the eye of many fitness trainers. Brahmi pasta consists solely of durum wheat semolina and organic lupini bean flour imported from Italy, completely avoiding soy protein concentrates or chemical binders often found in many other high-protein pastas on the market. Each serving provides up to 21 grams of protein and 9 grams of natural fiber. A fitness trainer and longtime Costco member once shared on social media that he recommended this product to all of his older clients after discovering that the price here was only a third of what he used to pay when ordering the same lupini bean pasta online. A box containing 4 1-pound packs costs $11.99 at Costco, while similar specialty protein pastas at health food stores typically range from $4.50 to $5.50 for a single box. For anyone who wants to keep the familiar al dente texture of traditional pasta while needing extra protein and fiber without changing the whole family's palate, this is an easy sell. This is especially true since lupini beans naturally have a significantly lower glycemic index than regular refined flour pasta, making it perfect for those needing to keep their blood sugar stable throughout the day. Furthermore, the lupini beans contribute a substantial amount of iron that regular pasta completely lacks. 9. Kirkland's Signature Organic Peanut Butter. If there is one item in the kitchen pantry that is underrated simply because of its humble appearance, Kirkland's Organic Peanut Butter deserves to top that list. The butter consists solely of dry roasted organic Valencia peanuts and a touch of sea salt. No palm oil, no hydrogenation, and no added sugar, because Valencia peanuts are naturally sweet enough that no other sweeteners are needed. Many people used to pass on this item just because they saw a layer of oil separating on top and assumed the butter had gone bad. However, that is actually a sign of the absence of artificial emulsifiers. A trick passed down by many shoppers is to simply flip the jar upside down and leave it in the refrigerator overnight before opening the lid. The oil will automatically blend back into a smooth mass without you having to waste effort stirring it. For older adults who need to supplement protein and good fats, but find it difficult to chew tough meats, this is one of the most easily absorbed sources of protein in the kitchen pantry. A 2-pack of large jars, 28 ounces each, costs only about $10 to $12, whereas an equivalent jar of organic peanut butter at a regular supermarket is never under $7. With a usage pace of a few spoonfuls every morning spread on whole wheat bread, such a pack can last for several weeks. But right after this, there is something that looks as harmless as a familiar breakfast, yet is quietly destroying exactly what the 3 items just mentioned have been trying to build. Giant muffins at the bakery section. There is a scent at Costco powerful enough to make anyone forget they are trying to eat clean, and that is the smell of freshly baked blueberry or chocolate chip muffins, large, round, and golden brown, neatly arranged in plastic clamshells. Many families buy a whole pack to keep ready on the counter. In the morning, they just need to grab one to eat with a cup of coffee to finish breakfast. But the body doesn't care what you call it. A Costco-sized muffin contains nearly 700 calories, most of which come from refined flour and fat, while the fiber content is virtually zero. This is a far cry from a slice of whole wheat bread or a bowl of rolled oats, which take more effort to prepare but keep blood sugar stable throughout the entire morning. Calling it a muffin might make it sound healthier than a cake, but biologically, these two things are virtually no different. Ironically, it is often eaten right at the time when the body needs a stable breakfast the most, rather than a sudden blood sugar spike followed by a mid-morning crash. 10. Rao's homemade marinara sauce. Among dozens of jarred tomato sauce brands, Rao's ingredient list looks almost old-fashioned, full of familiar ingredients with nothing to hide. The sauce is made from whole imported Italian tomatoes, extra virgin olive oil, fresh garlic, onions, basil, and oregano. No added sugar, no canola oil, and no artificial thickeners. A longtime cashier at a Costco in Texas once shared that this is the only sauce in the condiment aisle that shift managers themselves buy for their own families, because they know very well that Rao's bottling line does not add water or cornstarch for thickening like most other brands do. Cooked tomatoes release a large amount of lycopene, an antioxidant that multiple studies have linked to prostate health in older men, while the low-sodium ingredient list makes managing blood pressure much easier compared to other commercial sauces. A 2-pack of 28-ounce jars costs $11.99 at Costco, whereas a single 24-ounce jar of the same kind at a regular supermarket already runs around $9 to $10. That is enough to turn a rush dinner into a homemade Italian pasta dish without needing to open any other seasoning packets. And there is no need for extra seasoning either, because the sauce itself is already rich and flavorful right from the moment you open the lid. 11. Kirkland's Signature Organic Pecans. Walking past the dried nut aisle, there is a bag of Kirkland's Signature Organic Pecan halves that rarely gets noticed, yet it deserves a slightly longer stop. The pecans here are not roasted in seed oils and have no added salt, thereby fully preserving the polyunsaturated fats and zinc that cardiovascular studies often mention when discussing lowering total cholesterol. A pharmacist who is also a longtime Costco member once told his cardiac patients straight out not to buy the small bags at the pharmacy counter, but to go straight to Costco and grab the large bag instead, because the ingredients are exactly the same. The only difference is the price per pound. Just a quarter of a cup a day is enough to make a difference in blood test metrics over time, which is the exact serving size that many nutritionists recommend instead of eating a whole large handful just to satisfy a craving. A 2-pound bag here is only about $13 to $15, whereas a small 8-ounce bag at a regular supermarket already runs close to $6 or $7. That is no small difference, and for anyone needing to manage their blood lipids while still wanting a decent daily snack, this is almost a no-brainer choice. 12. Kirkland's Signature Pure Vanilla Extract. There is a math calculation very few people have ever sat down to do: the price difference per ounce among various types of vanilla extract. And Kirkland is the clearest example of just how massive that number can be. Kirkland's Pure Vanilla Extract is extracted directly from real vanilla beans in a water and alcohol solution, with no synthetic vanillin derived from wood, no corn syrup, and no caramel coloring. A longtime home baker once shared that she switched completely to Costco's large bottle after realizing the vanilla flavor was not at all weaker compared to the expensive small bottles she used to buy at specialty baking supply stores, while the price per ounce differed by nearly double. A 16-ounce bottle costs $9.99, whereas a pure vanilla extract bottle of only 2 ounces at other retail supermarkets already goes up to $7 or $8. Since each baking session only requires a small teaspoon, it means the large bottle at Costco can accompany a homemaker throughout the entire year. However, there is still a familiar frozen tray waiting in your home freezer, and it drags everything right back to the exact blood pressure concern mentioned at the very beginning. Malfour. Frozen lasagna tray. A frozen lasagna tray piled high with cheese, requiring you to just turn on the oven to instantly have a cozy dinner for the whole family. Sounds like the perfect solution for a day coming home late from work. But to keep the meat, sauce, and cheese from degrading or losing flavor after months of sitting in cold storage, manufacturers are forced to push the sodium content to the maximum possible level. A single small serving listed on the label already exceeds 1,000 milligrams of sodium, while the actual portion most people eat is usually quite a bit larger than that serving size. This is almost a loop that circles right back to the exact blood pressure story mentioned with the olive oil and grass-fed beef. At the beginning of the video, the only difference is that this time, it comes from what seems to be the most harmless dinner of the week. A delicious meal exchanged for a feeling of thirst all night long and a spiking number on the blood pressure monitor the next morning is perhaps a price that isn't always worth paying. Although no one can blame the convenience of a ready-to-eat tray after a long day, you should just consider this an occasional treat rather than your default weekly dinner. By simply replacing 2 to 3 items in your shopping cart this week with the suggestions above, the price difference you save will very likely be enough to make up for a whole year of Costco membership fees. Save this video before you go, as it's hard to remember all 12 names after just one watch, and once you get used to picking the right ones, the rest is just habit. Many plump steaks displayed for sale at Costco are not whole-cut meats as they appear to the eye, but are actually pressed together from the meat scraps of multiple different cows using a type of industrial meat glue. And that is just one of the 10 meat items you should stay away from today. You'd be awesome if you subscribe and like this video. Top 10 meats to avoid. 10. Kirkland Signature Organic Chicken Breasts. The organic label stamped on the packaging of Kirkland chicken breasts makes many people willing to pay nearly double the price of conventional chicken, because everyone automatically assumes in their head that organic translates to free-range chickens running around freely outdoors. The reality is quite different. Costco only meets the bare minimum of the USDA technical standards to obtain the certification. The chickens are still raised in large-scale, enclosed industrial factory farms, with the only difference being that they are fed organic grain. A few people have tried cooking 2 packages side by side at home to compare, and the result is almost always the same. In a blind taste test, no one can tell which piece is the more expensive one. In other words, the 100% price premium you pay does not translate into a tastier or healthier meal. It literally just buys you a feed certification label slapped on the outside of the packaging. If you truly want to eat cleaner, you should look specifically for the pasture-raised label instead of stopping at organic. Some people who used to work in the food supply chain have also admitted on anonymous forums that the raising and slaughtering processes between the 2 chicken lines are virtually identical, with the label on the packaging being the only thing that sets them apart. That price difference should instead be put toward true pasture-raised chicken if your actual goal is to eat cleaner. If you often buy frozen items because you trust the word natural on the packaging, the next item will definitely make you look closely at the product label before dropping it into your cart. 9. Orca Bay Keta Salmon. The words wild caught printed prominently on the bag of Orca Bay frozen salmon play right into the consumer preference for natural food. But in the seafood industry, Keta is the lowest grade in the Pacific salmon family. According to data from NOAA, Keta contains only about 4 to 5% fat by weight, whereas this figure in king or sockeye salmon reaches up to 11 to 15%. Complaints about this cheap frozen salmon pop up heavily on cooking forums every summer, with most describing a shared experience. The meat toughens up the moment it hits the pan. The lack of omega-3 fat marbling means that just a few seconds over high heat causes the muscle fibers to immediately separate, turning what was expected to be a rich salmon dinner into something bland, fibrous, and dry. No different from overcooked chicken breast, when this fish, by nature, is only suitable for making salmon flakes or canning. If you want truly rich salmon without the price skyrocketing too high, sockeye remains a much better option to consider. Carefully checking the fine print on the packaging before buying is also the fastest way to avoid confusing salmon grades that have vastly different nutritional values, since the outside of the bag usually only highlights the words wild caught, without clarifying that this is the lowest grade in the Pacific salmon family. This is also why many home chefs advise each other to read the small print underneath before buying any bag of frozen salmon at Costco. 8. Boneless pork shoulder. Pork shoulder is inherently an affordable cut of meat, born to be used for slow cooking methods like smoking or oven braising, and the bone inside plays the role of a natural heat conductor, helping to retain the connective tissues that create juiciness for the meat fibers. Costco removes the bone beforehand to create a sense of convenience and then pushes the price up to $4 to $5 per pound, which is significantly higher than the naturally very cheap price point of this cut. On community forums, quite a few people have posted pictures of their meat being dry on the edges even after 8 hours of smoking, despite monitoring the temperature very carefully. Losing the bone is essentially losing the natural moisture retention mechanism throughout the long cooking process. So what you bring home is usually a dried-out piece of meat, losing the exact qualities that a pork shoulder is supposed to have. BBQ experts in the US still view this as a rookie mistake, paying more money only to receive a dried-out piece of meat that has lost its original texture. If the warehouse near your house still sells the bone-in version, that is always a more worthwhile option. In the long run, The habit of choosing the bone-in cut also helps save significantly for large family gatherings on weekends, as the price per pound of the bone-in version is typically much lower than that of the pre-processed boneless version. Just adding a few minutes to debone the meat after it is fully cooked makes the effort completely worth it compared to the savings received. 7. Pre-cut filet mignon. With a price tag approaching the $20 per pound threshold, the pre-cut filet mignon trays sitting under the lights of the refrigerated display case still look eye-catching and bright red. However, this muscle group experiences very little movement and has almost no fat, making it extremely sensitive to oxidation the moment it is cut apart and exposed continuously under display lights. Looking down at the bottom of the tray, you will clearly see a layer of dark red liquid pooling. This is actually the nutrient-rich myoglobin that has leaked out before the meat even hits the pan. That lost meat juice carries away both the natural sweetness and the signature tenderness of the filet, meaning you are paying a 5-star restaurant price for a product whose quality has deteriorated right from the display stage, even before you touch any kitchen appliances. Buying the whole subprimal loin and asking the staff to cut it on the spot remains a much better way to preserve quality. Many reviews on Costco's product page also repeatedly mention the exact same detail. After being cooked, the meat shrinks visibly compared to its original size, and quite a few people have even weighed it before and after searing to confirm this weight loss. The next item costs only a few dollars a pound, but it involves a phenomenon in the livestock industry that not everyone knows exists right inside their own freezer. 6. Kirkland's Signature Chicken Thighs. Chicken thighs have long been considered the hardest piece of meat to mess up, due to their fairly high natural fat content. But Kirkland's packaged chicken thigh line has recently faced continuous negative feedback on culinary forums, despite costing only $3.49 per pound. The cause lies in the excessively fast growth rate of commercial factory-farmed chickens, which causes the muscle fibers to develop too quickly, creating woody breast syndrome, also known as woody meat. In major cooking groups in the US, quite a few people have posted photos of the meat after cooking, showing that it still retains hard white stripes running along the grain, the exact signature sign that the poultry industry warned about years ago. The fibrotic connective tissue turns the meat into a chewy, rubbery texture. No matter how long you stew or simmer it thoroughly, it is difficult for seasonings to penetrate deep inside, while the multi-layer packaging is frequently reported to leak meat juice out during transport. Observing the white stripes along the meat fibers carefully through the plastic wrap before buying will help avoid most of this risk. Another small tip is to prioritize buying at the beginning of the week, the time when new shipments have typically just been received, so the chance of encountering woody meat is significantly lower compared to the weekend when the inventory has gone through multiple rounds of sorting. 5. Multi-pack St. Louis-style pork ribs. St. Louis-style pork ribs at Costco are usually packaged in a multi-pack, with 3 to 4 racks wrapped together in a thick layer of plastic wrap. And this is exactly where many butchering flaws are hidden deep underneath. Buyers can only see the rack sitting on the very top when standing in front of the display cooler, while as for the racks underneath, they have to wait until they get home and rip open the plastic wrap to see what they actually look like. Quite a few long-time customers have reported on BBQ forums that the lower racks are often over-trimmed, leaving them bone-heavy and meat-light, or severely uneven in thickness compared to the top rack. This discrepancy in thickness turns timing your grilling or smoking into an absolute gamble. The thick piece remains raw inside, while the thin piece has burned to a crisp before you even notice. If you still want to buy them at Costco, you should choose the tray options where you can clearly see each individual rack instead of the multi-layer sealed packages. Another way is to ask the meat counter staff directly if they sell single racks, because many warehouses still keep a few separated trays for customers who do not want to risk it with the sealed packs. The thickness variation between the racks also leads to consequences in flavor. The thin rib section easily loses moisture and becomes significantly drier when undergoing the exact same smoking duration as the thick rack next to it, causing the entire batch of barbecue to lose the uniformity that a good slab of ribs is supposed to have. 4. Pre-marinated meats. Trays of pre-marinated buffalo chicken wings or Korean short ribs look eye-catching with a glossy, evenly coated layer of sauce, which is enough to make busy people immediately think of an effortless dinner where they just have to put it in the oven and be done. However, in the food processing industry, heavy seasoning with lots of salt, sugar, and flavor enhancers is the most effective way to mask meat cuts that are nearing their expiration date or have discolored and are no longer beautiful enough to be displayed in their original form. The sodium levels in these products usually far exceed the daily recommended limits set by the CDC, which is not good for individuals needing to manage blood pressure or cardiovascular health. Meanwhile, the high sugar content in prepackaged sauces easily burns when exposed to high temperatures, generating compounds that are harmful to your health. All things considered, you are paying meat rate prices for the entire weight of the sauce coated on the outside, rather than purely for the meat inside the tray. Buying fresh, unseasoned meat and mixing your own marinade at home still allows for much better quality control. In diet and blood pressure management groups, quite a few people have shared stories of accidentally consuming double their recommended sodium intake in a single meal just by trusting the serving size listed on the label, when in reality, the thick sauce clinging around the meat caused the actual salt intake to be much higher than the figure disclosed on the packaging. The next item is one of the best-selling products at the meat counter, but it is also the very item that has appeared multiple times on national food safety warning lists. 3. Kirkland's Signature 80/20 Ground Beef. Small butcher shops often grind fresh beef continuously throughout the day from high-quality leftover meat scraps, but the 80/20 ground beef trays carrying the Kirkland label come from a completely different process, pre-packaged at a centralized industrial processing plant, and then sitting in the display cooler for multiple days before reaching the buyer's hands. This product line has appeared multiple times on the USDA recall list due to connections with E. coli bacteria, and the industrial grinding mechanism makes the issue much more severe than manual grinding. Just one piece of contaminated meat on the surface is enough to spread evenly into tons of other meat within the same grind batch. At $4.59 per pound, this product is actually not any cheaper than choosing a fresh piece of chuck roast at the meat counter and asking the Costco staff to grind it directly on the spot, which is completely free and significantly safer. Some former meat department employees have shared on professional forums that the amount of time an industrially ground meat tray sits in the distribution chain before hitting the shelves can last many more days than consumers typically think. Long enough for bacteria to multiply if the storage temperature is not strictly maintained throughout the transport journey. Personally, selecting a whole primal cut of meat and witnessing the grinding process right before your eyes remains the best way to control risk without costing an extra dime. 2. Mechanical, blade-tenderized choice steaks. To make choice-grade cuts like ribeye or New York strip as tender as the expensive prime grade, Costco runs the meat through a machine system that punctures it with thousands of tiny blades before packaging, a technique the meat industry calls blade tenderizing. The CDC has pointed out that mechanically tenderized beef of this type is the cause of multiple severe E. coli outbreaks in the U.S., because the blade puncturing process accidentally pushes bacteria, which inherently only live on the surface of the meat cut, deep into the very center. That is why the USDA recommends that this type of meat must be cooked to an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, which is medium doneness or higher. For a steak connoisseur, having to cook a premium piece of ribeye to a high doneness simply due to bacterial concerns is truly an unfortunate trade-off, as the meat becomes visibly tougher compared to when it is enjoyed at a medium-rare level. The most foolproof way is to ask the meat counter staff directly whether the steak has been blade tenderized before buying. Many American culinary forums have had lengthy threads analyzing why steaks bought at Costco cannot achieve the perfect rare or medium-rare doneness like at a steakhouse, and the answer mostly traces back to this exact blade tenderizing technique, something that many diners have no idea exists on the meat they just purchased. There is a truth about the way certain types of meat are shaped that, once you know it, will make it hard for you to look at a meat tray the same way again. On restructured, ready-to-cook steaks, those perfectly round, evenly shaped steak trays with shockingly low prices at Costco are not whole-cut pieces of meat as they appear to the eye, but are actually the product of restructuring technology. This process gathers meat scraps and connective tissues from multiple different cows, then uses transglutaminase, what people in the industry straight up call meat glue, combined with high-pressure press machines to compress them into the shape of a steak. Bacteria from multiple different sources of meat scraps are mixed right inside the compressed meat block, similar to the risk mechanism of industrially ground beef, making it mandatory to cook it completely through to be safe. The loose texture causes the meat to release a lot of water and shrink significantly once it hits the grill grate, potentially losing up to 30% of its original size, while the remaining meat becomes tough and completely loses the natural sweetness inherent to real beef. Stopping by the fresh daily ground beef counter at Costco to hand-shape your own patties remains a much more trustworthy option than buying pre-pressed items. On the nutrition label, products of this type are usually listed as formed or chopped and formed instead of solid muscle. A small detail, but enough to distinguish them from whole-cut meat if the buyer takes the time to read carefully before adding it to the cart, instead of just looking at the eye-catching, perfectly round shape outside the plastic wrap. After a series of warnings that make your shopping cart noticeably lighter, it's time to make up for it with 3 names fully deserving of a spot in your refrigerator: truly delicious, reasonably priced, and completely free of any gimmicks. Top 3 Best Buys. Boneless leg of lamb. The majority of lamb sold in the US comes from Australia or New Zealand, where sheep are raised on natural pastures and slaughtered under strictly controlled ages, resulting in meat fibers that are sweet and have significantly less gamey odor than factory-farmed lamb. However, the boneless leg of lamb primal cut at Costco is often overlooked, mostly because many people have eaten a piece of strong-smelling lamb somewhere before and are hesitant to try it again. The price fluctuates between $8 and $10 per pound, whereas the exact same quality at specialty butcher shops or premium organic supermarkets can easily skyrocket to $14 to $18 per pound. A large primal cut brought home is enough to last for the whole week. You can wrap it in herbs and oven roast it whole for a crowded weekend meal, or cut off the edges to cook a Mediterranean-style stew. For families with elderly members or young children sensitive to strong flavors, this is a major plus, because most complaints about lamb in the past have stemmed from the exact odor that this imported product line almost entirely lacks. Thawing it overnight in the refrigerator instead of leaving it out at room temperature will keep the meat quality almost completely intact when cooking. If you are not used to buying large whole primal cuts, you can ask the meat counter staff to cut it down into 2 smaller portions right on the spot, making it both easier to store and convenient for meals that do not require hosting a large crowd. This price is usually stable year-round, without having to wait for seasonal markdowns like many other types of meat. Pork tenderloin. If you have to choose a product that truly represents the definition of delicious, nutritious, and affordable at Costco, pork tenderloin deserves to top the list. This is the least exercised muscle on the pig, so it is naturally tender without requiring any intervention from the manufacturer. A complete contrast to the mechanically blade tenderized beef steaks mentioned in the previous section. Priced at just $3 to $4 per pound, a package typically consists of 2 separate vacuum-sealed pouches with 2 tenderloin loins in each pouch, making it convenient to portion out and freeze for gradual use over multiple meals. The excess fat and silver skin have almost entirely been trimmed off beforehand, so however many pounds you buy is exactly how much you can eat, with no wasteful trimming required like many types of pork sold at conventional markets. Many people used to hesitate to cook lean pork for fear of it being tough and dry, but the very unexercised characteristic of this tenderloin section solves that exact worry, completely unlike the meat cuts that require technological intervention to achieve a similar level of tenderness. Storing it in the freezer is also quite convenient thanks to the vacuum packaging in separate pairs. Every time you need to use it, you just take out exactly 1 pouch without having to thaw the entire large package. The final item is about to be revealed, and this is the exact reason why many high-end restaurants have to scramble for the supply right from the production stage. USDA prime steaks, ribeye, and New York strip. Each year, only about 2 to 3% of beef in the US achieves the prime grade, and the vast majority of that is bought up almost entirely by high-end steakhouses before it ever reaches retail counters. Costco still has this item available regularly right on its shelves, a complete contrast to the choice line that underwent blade tenderizing, mentioned at the beginning. What makes the difference is the natural marbling evenly distributed throughout the meat fibers, which melts when encountering heat and helps the meat become tender and fragrant without needing any mechanical intervention. Buying at a conventional supermarket chain, this same quality can cost $25 to $35 per pound, whereas Costco, thanks to its position as one of the largest meat retailers in the world, has driven the price down to $10 to $15 per pound. Because the meat is already tender enough from its natural marbling, Costco does not need to use blade tenderizing machines on this product line, meaning you can confidently pan-sear it to a perfect medium rare without having to trade off the bacterial risks like the choice line warned about previously. If you only have enough budget for one luxury item out of today's entire list, this should be the top priority choice, because the price difference compared to the outside is significantly larger than any other item mentioned. The next time you stand in front of the meat counter, just spend an extra 10 seconds reading the label, looking for the words solid muscle instead of formed, checking whether it states blade tenderized, and noticing whether it is pre-packaged goods or just cut on the spot. These 3 small details determine most of your meal's quality without costing an extra dime. Right now, Costco is completely refreshing its shelves, and while some items will only stay for a few weeks before disappearing forever, a few other options are marked down to prices never before seen at this wholesale club. You'd be awesome if you subscribe and like this video. 1. The 7.5-foot Frankenstein animatronic. If you saw the giant wall-climbing skeletons from previous years, you will immediately notice that this year's Frankenstein makes a much bigger impression thanks to its significantly more vivid lights and sound effects. The eye-catching design features LED eyes and stands at an imposing 7.5 feet, easily casting a shadow over an entire corner of your front yard. It retails for $180, whereas a similar life-sized animatronic at Spirit Halloween could easily run you anywhere from $250 to $350. 2. Bose Portable Speaker. A $100 price gap separates 2 generations of Bose speakers displayed right next to each other on the shelf, allowing shoppers to pick them up and compare before deciding. The new model is priced at $180, while its predecessor has been slashed to a rock-bottom price of $79.97. That classic .97 price tag indicates a final clearance item unique to each specific branch. The sound quality of the older model is still crisp, the battery lasts long, and the build quality is premium, making an extra $100 just for a few minor cosmetic changes on the new version truly unnecessary. 3. DPS Premium Gaming Chair. With a direct $50 discount bringing it down to $100, the DPS gaming chair still maintains its inherent strength. Outstanding spinal support for anyone working continuously for long hours. The difference in the 2026 version lies in the seat cushion, which is noticeably lower than previous generations. So anyone used to a taller office chair posture might feel a bit thrown off for the first few days. This is also the lowest price recorded for this chair lineup at Costco in recent months. Even so, at the $100 price point, its comfort and craftsmanship still far outperform competitors in the same price range at Staples or Office Depot. 4. Acer 16-inch Portable Monitor. The Acer 16-inch portable monitor has dropped from $90 to $70 just in time for the back-to-school season. A single USB-C cable handles both the display and power delivery, making it perfectly compact to toss into a backpack and take anywhere. At $70, this price is significantly cheaper than no-name brands on Amazon, yet it still comes with a proper warranty under Costco's return policy. Costco always leads the market in rolling out seasonal merchandise earlier than anyone else, and this time, they are even bringing back a few models that completely sold out last season. 5. Halloween Welcome Dog Statue. After selling out last season, the Halloween Welcome Dog Statue has returned to shelves in 2 different styles, priced at $60 each. Many families choose to buy both to place symmetrically on either side of the doorway, creating a pretty eye-catching coordinated look. The craftsmanship is quite high. The material can withstand outdoor rain and sun, and according to feedback from last year's buyers, the colors barely fade even after being left outside all season long. 6. Disney 12-piece Halloween Village Set. Flip the switch, and the flashing LED lights along with the familiar spooky background music of the Disney 12-piece Halloween Village set will still make your entire living room feel like stepping into a magical, eerie festival night. The complete set costs $130, and this year features refreshed architecture and character designs. But before you rush to bring it home, there is one thing you need to know. There have been reports of some internal ceramic pieces being cracked or broken right out of the box, so make sure to carefully check the outer packaging to avoid any dented boxes and inspect every single item as soon as you get home. 7. 2-pack Artificial Topiary Trees. A rather limited inventory at each location makes this pair of 47-inch artificial topiary trees one of the fastest items to sell out in the lawn and garden section. It costs $170 for the pair, which includes the accompanying ceramic pots. The faux leaves look highly realistic, and the heavy ceramic pots help the trees stand firm against strong winds when placed on the porch. Many branches have reported that this is the first and only shipment of the season. Once they're gone, you'll have to wait until next year. 8. Spiral Artificial Topiary Tree. If the previous topiary pair was a bit over your budget, this spiral artificial topiary tree is currently marked down by $20, from $60 to $40, making it an equally reasonable alternative. Some locations also carry a version that includes a ceramic pot for a slightly higher price, perfect for anyone looking to match the style of the topiary set. The tree can be placed both indoors and outdoors, adding a refreshing green accent without requiring any maintenance. 9. Beach Skimboard. Skimboards are being stocked in fairly large quantities for this late summer season. Sports department employees noted that this has been the best-selling item this week at branches located near the beach. The design is thin and lightweight, yet possesses impressive weight-bearing capacity. Compared to the cost of renting gear at tourist beaches, $30 for your own board is a very reasonable price. Cosmetics are notoriously known for having some of the most inflated, artificial prices in the retail industry, but this specific section at Costco currently features a few items that completely defy that rule. 10. Tree Hut Shea Sugar Scrub Duo. The Tree Hut Sugar Scrub Duo is selling for $16 for the pair, with each jar coming in a massive 21-ounce size featuring 2 scents, vanilla and cocoa colada. The cocoa colada scent is particularly highly rated because it creates a relaxing, spa-like feel right in your own bathroom. This brand has long been favored for its ability to smooth the skin using natural sugar granules combined with shea butter without causing dryness or irritation. 11. Glow by Purcell Brightening Serum. The Glow by Purcell serum is a new face in the skincare aisle, coming in a 3-ounce bottle, significantly larger than the standard serum size typically found on the market, and is priced at $39. The formula combines peptides, probiotics, and a vitamin complex targeting a glass skin effect. It absorbs quickly and does not feel sticky even in hot weather. With such a generous volume, this is quite a steal for a serum packed with expensive active ingredients. 12. Advanced PDRN Rejuvenating Cream. The Advanced PDRN Rejuvenating Cream has just hit Costco's cosmetics shelves, featuring a core ingredient of PDRN, extracted from salmon DNA, an active ingredient currently drawing significant attention in the medical aesthetics industry for its cell-regenerating and skin-firming capabilities. Priced at $47 for a 2-tube pack, it falls into the pricier category on Costco's beauty shelves. However, compared to buying individual tubes retail at Sephora or Ulta, where it can cost up to $40 to $50 per tube, this price is still much more economical. 13. Strivectin Eye Cream Duo. This time, the Intensive Eye Concentrate Duo is listed at $40, packaged as a combo of 2 tubes, one large and one small. The smaller tube is quite convenient if you plan to bring it along on business trips or short vacations. However, this is exactly the type of cosmetic product that carries a fairly high profit margin at Costco, so do not rush to pull out your wallet just because you see a familiar brand name. Years of experience show that this product is regularly included in periodic markdown cycles, sometimes dropping to around $20 to $30. Therefore, it makes much more sense to add it to your watch list and patiently wait for the next sale event. 14. Tree Hut Shave Oil. Unlike traditional shaving creams that easily cause dryness and skin irritation, Tree Hut's oil formulation creates a smooth, hydrating protective barrier, allowing for a smoother shave while soothing the skin immediately after use. It comes in the exact same 2 scents as the scrub duo mentioned earlier, vanilla and cocoa colada, with a volume of 12 ounces per bottle, sold as a 2-pack for $19. Because it is an oil, you only need a small amount per use, meaning one bottle can easily last for several months. 15. Avocado Organic Cotton Sheet Set. Currently available primarily in king size with 2 neutral tones, cream and light gray, the 3-piece Avocado Organic Cotton Sheet Set has just hit the shelves for $57. The material consists of certified organic cotton woven in a herringbone pattern and has been pre-shrunk before packaging. The fabric is quite thick and substantial, rather than paper-thin like many other budget organic sheet lines on the market. It offers high breathability, making it cool on summer nights, yet warm enough when transitioning into fall. For a brand positioned in the organic segment, this price is quite soft compared to the general market average. 16. Bitco Multi-Compartment Bento Box. The removable gel ice pack that fits snugly at the bottom of the container is the most notable innovation of the Bitco Bento Box, keeping food fresh for a long time without the need for a bulky, insulated bag. The 2-pack retails for $27 and features leak-proof rubber gaskets with locking lids. Designed with a default 3-compartment layout, it easily converts into 4 compartments with just a simple slide adjustment. It is dishwasher safe, and breaking it down to just over $13 per box makes it a great fit for both kids' school lunches and adults' meal preps on the go. 17. Orgain Superfoods Protein Shake. Orgain has completely redesigned the packaging for its creamy chocolate-flavored vegan plant protein shake. Priced at $22, it delivers 35 grams of protein along with extracts from over 50 superfoods per serving. The flavor profile has been fine-tuned, significantly reducing the chalky texture typically found in plant-based proteins. However, this Orgain lineup gets marked down fairly regularly at Costco. So, unless you are completely running out at home, being a little patient and waiting for the next sales cycle will save you more money. 18. Poo-Pourri Toilet Spray 3-pack. Poo-Pourri stays true to its familiar mechanism, creating a thin barrier of essential oils on the water's surface to trap odors before they can escape into the air. However, this year's scent trio is completely refreshed and more elegant, ranging from the sweet subtlety of lotus honey and the purity of jasmine to the light tang of blood orange. The entire 3-bottle set is priced at $20. Buying them individually elsewhere would cost $10 a bottle, making this $20 price tag a great deal on its own. But if you are not in a rush, Costco's periodic markdowns will drop this set down to $15. 19. Citronella Mosquito Repellent Candle 2-pack. This item is seeing a direct $8 discount, bringing it down to just $10 for a pair of oversized citronella candle jars, just as Costco aggressively clears out lawn and garden inventory to make room for fall merchandise. The citronella essential oil is quite effective at repelling mosquitoes for backyard barbecues, but the large wicks and heavy wax volume generate a fairly thick smoke. They should only be burned in open outdoor spaces, and you should absolutely avoid bringing them indoors or leaving them under closed porches. Among the hundreds of new products hitting the shelves each month, it is rare to find an item that makes shoppers at the sample station immediately turn around to grab an extra box. 20. Mediterranean herb cheese. If I could only pick one item to recommend this month, this Mediterranean herb cheese is the ultimate standout that deserves to top the list, priced at $9.59 per block. The outer wax rind peels off incredibly easily without cutting into the cheese itself, while the flavor is rich, smooth, and perfectly balanced with light, refreshing herbal notes, not overwhelmingly salty like many other cheeses in the same category. Unlike many herb cheeses on the market that tend to dry out, this block retains its moisture beautifully even after being left in the fridge for a few days. This is a highly recommended buy that you don't even need to second guess. 21. Baba Ganoush Eggplant Dip. Made from fire-roasted eggplants blended with traditional Middle Eastern tahini sesame paste, this Baba Ganoush dip has just hit the shelves for $6.99, a worth-trying option if you are tired of traditional hummus. The subtle smoky flavor from the eggplant blends with the richness of the sesame to create a unique texture, and it is also certified vegan and gluten-free. Compared to a tub of hummus of the same volume at many traditional supermarkets, this price remains highly competitive. 22. Blue Marble Jack and Smoked Gouda Cheese Blocks. Toss these onto a grilled burger, and you will immediately notice the difference between these two new cheeses on the shelf. The Blue Marble Jack, priced at $9, melts smoothly to create a rich, creamy coating, while the Smoked Gouda, priced at $8, delivers a bold, natural smoky flavor that is strong enough to elevate a standard ground beef patty to restaurant quality. Each block weighs nearly half a pound, providing plenty of cheese for several weekend barbecues in a row. 23. Loaded Baked Potato Salad. This massive 48-ounce tub of loaded baked potato salad costs just $9. It keeps the potato pieces chunkily diced instead of being mashed down into a mushy texture that quickly gets tiring like many other brands, all tossed in a light, perfectly seasoned creamy dressing. At half the price of buying smaller containers at Kroger or Publix, it yields about 12 servings, making it a perfect fit for weekend family gatherings. 24. Stone Mill Kitchen's High-Protein Chicken Salad. Priced at $10.80, the Stone Mill Kitchen's high-protein chicken salad features bite-sized shredded chicken breast and a dressing that isn't too runny. However, the overall flavor profile is just average, failing to stand out compared to Costco's own familiar chicken salad options. When compared to prepackaged chicken salads at Trader Joe's or Whole Foods, the price is slightly higher even though the quality is nearly identical. 25. Mediterranean Orzo Pasta Salad. Priced at $8 for a 24-ounce tub, this Mediterranean Orzo Pasta Salad sounds like a pretty good deal, but I want you to give it a little thought before putting it in your cart. The bell pepper flavor in this one is quite strong to me, completely masking the nuttiness of the orzo and the rich taste of the black olives. This is also an item I think you should keep an eye on if you have seniors at home, as the high volume of bell peppers can easily cause stomach irritation and indigestion. Another downside is that the bottom of the paper container leaks dressing quite easily, so make sure to check it thoroughly before placing it in your shopping cart. 26. Avocado Oil Mayonnaise. Tasted on its own, the flavor is a bit sharp, but when spread onto a roasted turkey sandwich, the flavor profile becomes perfectly balanced, delivering a tangy sweetness and a slight crunch from the pickles in a way that regular mayonnaise simply cannot replicate. It retails for $11 for two 12-ounce squeeze bottles. The nozzle opening is fairly wide, so it only takes a gentle squeeze for a large amount of sauce to flow out. Squeeze carefully so you don't ruin your entire dish. A new refreshing beverage trend is making its way into the largest cold cases across America, and Costco is not staying out of the game. 27. Sparkling Coconut Water. Sparkling coconut water is a brand new beverage lineup that just hit the shelves, combining natural coconut water with a gentle fizz and 5% real fruit juice, available in 3 flavors: grapefruit, peach mango, and pineapple. A 12-pack of cans is priced at $15. The calorie count per can is quite low, and the flavor is lightly sweet and refreshing, perfect for summer. However, anyone used to pure, original coconut water might find the taste a bit unusual due to the carbonation and the blended fruit flavors. 28. Organic Mango Lemonade. Priced at $8 a jug, this organic mango lemonade has a very delicious, well-blended sweet and sour taste. I also love using it to blend up refreshing slushies on hot days. However, this is an item I think you should look into carefully if you are watching your sugar intake, because a single 8-ounce serving already packs a whopping 31 grams of sugar, while real fruit juice accounts for only 18% of the formula. If anyone in your house is managing their blood sugar levels, I highly recommend skipping this item. 29. Pistachio Crepes. These French crepes have swapped their filling for a pistachio cream instead of the familiar chocolate hazelnut. It costs $11.80 for a 20-piece pack imported directly from France, with each crepe individually wrapped to seal in moisture beautifully. The pistachio filling holds up very well and does not melt or get runny like chocolate fillings do in hot weather. 30. French Chocolate Hazelnut Madeleines. These chocolate hazelnut-filled French madeleines are back on the shelves, and they scan at exactly $10 a pack at the register. Even though the price tag on the shelf occasionally displays the wrong price, just have the cashier scan it first before questioning it. The texture is soft, fluffy, and moist, just like a premium butter sponge cake, with a rich filling that isn't overly sweet. It breaks down to just 50 cents per piece for an authentic French-style pastry. 31. Smucker's Superfood Spread. Following the success of their raspberry flavor line, Smucker's has rolled out a cherry pomegranate superfood spread version, packaged in a large 30-ounce jar for $9.60. The subtle sweetness of the cherry blends beautifully with the tangy tartness of the red pomegranate, featuring less sugar and more natural antioxidants than traditional jams. It has a smooth texture that spreads easily on morning toast and will last a long time for the whole family. 32. Kraft Power Mac Macaroni and Cheese. This 8-count variety pack of Kraft Power Mac Macaroni and Cheese is priced at $15.40. Unlike the traditional Kraft line, which is often dismissed as empty calories, this version packs 17 grams of protein and 6 grams of fiber per serving, while the cheese sauce remains just as rich and creamy as kids love. At nearly $2 per box, it is pricier than the regular line, but still significantly cheaper than specialized protein-fortified Mac brands sold elsewhere that can run you $3 to $3.50 a box. 33. Good Foods. Avocado Spread with Garlic and Herbs. Most Green Goddess-style dressings on the market use a mayonnaise or sour cream base, which can quickly become heavy if you eat too much. However, this new version from Good Foods selects naturally mashed ripe avocados as its main base, combined with lemon juice, basil, dill, parsley, and chives. It features a smooth texture, a bright tangy flavor, and a distinct fresh herb aroma, offering a much lighter feel than the traditional heavy dressings typically found in the refrigerated deli section. The large 24-ounce tub is currently priced at $8.99, which is quite a steal to replace your standard veggie dip. The ingredients are all natural and low in sodium, making it a great fit for anyone keeping an eye on their cardiovascular health in middle age. For this new batch of merchandise, Costco did not forget the four-legged family members at home, dedicating an entire section that is well worth checking out before you head to the registers. 34. Bowties dog treats. The small, soft-textured bites make these bone broth-flavored dog treats from Bowties a great fit for puppies or older dogs with weak teeth and gums, while also being easy to break apart into smaller pieces for training rewards. The 32-ounce bag is currently priced at $15 and features all-natural bone broth ingredients with no harmful additives. Getting nearly 2 pounds at this price point is highly economical. 35. 2-pack cat litter boxes. Priced at $27.50, this 2-pack of cat litter boxes includes 2 scoopers and is made from recycled plastic. It features high walls that are quite effective at preventing litter from scattering onto the floor, but the flexible plastic material comes with an inherent weakness. Over time, a cat's claws scratching the surface will create tiny micro-scratches where urine and bacteria can easily accumulate. If you buy this set, you should be prepared to deep clean it more frequently. Many of today's items are only available as seasonal rollouts or in limited quantities per location. So before you drive over to buy them, just call ahead or check the Costco app to see if they are still in stock at your local warehouse. That way, you can avoid making a wasted trip and losing an entire weekend morning. Nearly 40 new items have just landed at Costco this week, enough to fill every corner from your kitchen and backyard to your car trunk, but not every item will stay for long. A few items on today's list fall into the one run and done category. If you're a bit slow to watch, you might miss out on them forever. You rock if you subscribe and like this video. 1. Insta368K Action Camera. Costco just dropped a bunch of new arrivals right ahead of the summer holiday season, and today's opening item is probably the one making many shoppers stop their carts for a closer look. It is an Insta360 Action Camera bundle that shoots full 360-degree footage at the highest resolution currently available on the consumer market. It comes with an invisible selfie stick, a high-speed memory card, and a charging base, all packed into a comprehensive kit that is ready to use right out of the box. Costco debuted this bundle at $440, which is $110 off the manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, of $550. A pretty significant markdown straight from the moment it hit the shelves. If your family often captures fireworks moments or road trips with the kids and grandkids, this is one of those new arrivals worth serious consideration right from the start, without waiting for any other discounts. 2. Lifetime 6-foot folding table. Right next to the outdoor seating area, Lifetime's 6-foot folding table is prominently on display. Looking at how neatly it folds in half, it is easy to see why this line of tables has remained a trusted staple for many families over the years. The tabletop is made of UV-protected, high-density polyethylene, paired with a heavy-duty powder-coated steel frame. The $57 price tag might sound a bit high at first, but considering its durability to last for a decade of family gatherings, it turns out to be a reasonable investment. With a built-in carrying handle, a single person can easily haul it back and forth, eliminating the need for a 2-person carry like other bulky banquet tables. 3. Lifetime plastic folding chair. To go with that table setup is the matching folding chair from the same Lifetime line, priced at around $24 each. The seat and backrest are ergonomically contoured, making it less tiring to sit on for long periods compared to standard flat folding chairs. The H-frame steel legs are quite sturdy and won't warp, even if left out in the yard under the sun and rain all summer long. So, if you have already bought the table, you should definitely grab a few matching chairs just to be safe. There are quite a few more items in the outdoor seating section today, and there is one item that I think is the most easily overlooked despite having much higher practical value. 4. Padded fabric folding chair. If you prefer a bit more comfort, Costco also offers a line of padded fabric folding chairs for $20 each. The foam padding is thick, and the woven fabric feels quite heavy-duty to the touch. The key point to remember is that this model is not waterproof, so it is only suitable for indoor use or under a covered porch. Bringing it out into the yard in the rain a few times will ruin it instantly. On the flip side, the The styling looks way more upscale than a standard plastic chair. 5. Fall and Halloween accent rugs. If you think it is too early to talk about Halloween, Costco begs to differ. The fall accent rugs, priced at $18 and measuring 22 by 28 inches, feature quite sophisticated pumpkin or little fox prints rather than looking cheap at all. They have quietly hit the shelves since the beginning of July. Years of experience show that these beautiful seasonal items always sell out very fast. If you wait until the actual season in September or October to go looking for one, you are usually left with the designs you don't like. The rug material is quite thick and machine washable, so it holds its shape even after multiple seasons. Buying before the holiday season arrives also helps avoid the chaotic rush of hunting for items during peak times. 6. Tommy Bahama Beach Duo. Moving over to the beach gear section, Tommy Bahama's folding chair and beach umbrella duo are currently discounted by $10 each, bringing the chair down to $35 and the umbrella to $30. Mentioning Tommy Bahama is mentioning the gold standard for beach gear in the US. Lightweight, rust-proof aluminum frames, thick canvas that withstands sun, wind, and salty sea air, and a form-fitting design so your back won't get tired even after sitting all day. Both items are quite lightweight, making it hassle-free for one person to carry them out to the beach or park alone. 7. Tommy Bahama Premium Lounger. From the same brand, there is also a more premium lounger model, priced at $50 after a $10 discount. The seat sits significantly higher than standard low-profile sand chairs, making sitting down and standing up much easier, perfect for anyone with knee joint issues. The faux wood grain armrests also look way more upscale for this price range. 8. Cascade Stadium Seat. For anyone who often has to sit for long periods on cold aluminum bleachers to cheer on the kids and grandkids or stand waiting for holiday parades, the Cascade Stadium Seat for $35 is a small but noteworthy item. The cushion provides good hip support and decent thermal insulation, and it features a compact carrying strap for convenient transport. This price is not discounted, but it is still well worth it if you frequently attend outdoor events. The cushion cover is also removable and washable, so you don't have to worry about dirt buildup after a few uses at outdoor stadiums. 9. Specialized Outdoor BBQ Prep Cart. If you have ever had to hold tongs in one hand, a plate of raw meat in the other, and temporarily wedge a bottle of BBQ sauce under your armpit because you ran out of space, then this grilling prep cart is exactly what you should keep an eye on. This is a limited-time seasonal item, currently only available at select locations, and this type of merchandise usually isn't guaranteed to return once it sells out. At $250, this is not a cheap item, but if your family frequently hosts weekend cookouts, it keeps the grilling setup completely organized instead of having things scattered all over the table. If you have ever scrambled and wondered what to prepare when unexpected guests pop in, these next few items are well worth keeping in mind before that situation happens again. 10. Pre-made charcuterie and cheese board. The deli counter this week features a pre-made meat and cheese platter in a new packaging style, serving as a perfect lifesaver for last-minute parties where you would previously have to arrange everything yourself. Looking at the arrangement with salami, ham, cubed cheeses, and a few scattered olives, it is quite eye-catching. You buy it and essentially need no extra preparation for a large party table. One platter is typically enough for about 10 to 12 people for light appetizers, making it perfect for gatherings that don't require elaborate cooking. 11. Chicken Salad Croissant Platter. Right next to it is the chicken salad stuffed croissant platter priced at $45. The croissants are cut in half and generously stuffed with a chicken salad mixture of mayo, celery, and seasonings. The filling is quite hearty rather than just for show. Truth be told, if you were to boil the chicken and mix the salad at home yourself, the cost would be less than half. But this price tag is essentially buying time. If a dozen unexpected guests stop by your house on a holiday, this platter is a pretty solid quick-fix solution. 12. Spinach Artichoke Parmesan Dip. The dip section has added a spinach, artichoke, and Parmesan cheese dip, priced at $9.90 for a 2-jar set. It has a rich and creamy flavor thanks to the dairy and cheese ingredients, and being divided into 2 smaller tubs makes storage easier. It works perfectly whether eaten straight out of the fridge or heated up. 13. Artichoke and Jalapeno Dip. Its twin sibling is the artichoke and jalapeno dip, priced at $10.50, also displayed right next to it on the shelf. It features the same flavor base but adds a bit of Mexican-style kick, perfect for those who prefer their appetizers to have a touch of heat instead of just pure richness. The spice level is moderate and not too overwhelming, so those who aren't used to spicy food can still give it a try. 14. Olive oil and sea salt hummus. If you prefer a lighter dipping option, the olive oil and sea salt hummus priced at $7.89 for a large 20-ounce tub is a convenient choice. There is no need to turn on the stove or heat anything up. Just open the lid, and it's ready to use with veggie sticks, crackers, or spread on bread. The refrigerator shelf life is also quite long compared to many other fresh hummus brands, so you don't have to worry about rushing to finish it in a few days after buying. 15. Kinder's Grill Pack Seasoning Set. For anyone who is too lazy to mix their own sauces, the Kinder's Grill Pack for $27, which includes 2 large bottles of BBQ sauce and 4 jars of meat rub seasonings, is a pretty smart investment. Buying each jar individually at the grocery store can often cost nearly $45, so this bundled set keeps the kitchen organized while helping your grilled dishes achieve a consistent restaurant-quality flavor. 16. So, Chill Sea Salt Tortilla Chips. The snack aisle also has a noteworthy new item. So, Chill Sea Salt Crunchy Tortilla Chips for $6.70. Fried in avocado oil so they have less saturated fat than standard palm or soybean oil. The chips are perfectly crispy with a mild salt flavor that isn't overwhelming, making them an excellent match for any of the salsa or hummus dips mentioned above. 17. Tyson Star-Shaped Chicken Nuggets. Tyson has also just launched Star-Shaped Chicken Nuggets, packed in a large 3.5-pound bag for $11, made entirely from 100% all-white meat chicken breast, so you don't have to second-guess the quality of the meat inside. For a bag of this size, the price is quite reasonable. You can put them in either a regular oven or an air fryer with no need for deep frying like some other types of nuggets, making the kids' meal significantly less greasy. There are still plenty of items left ahead, and the upcoming section features at least 2 items that I bought and regretted, so don't miss out. 18. Strawberry and Vanilla Pastry Parfaits. A limited edition dessert has just appeared in the bakery section, packed in a box of 8 small jars for $14. The bottom is a layer of crispy waffle cones, the middle is a rich cheesecake-style vanilla mousse, and the top is covered with strawberry gelatin along with a small decorative star. Since this is a seasonal item, you should grab it early if you see it on the shelf, as this type usually sells out quite fast. 19. Olivia's Cake Pops. Olivia's Cake Pops are also worth a try, with a 12-count box priced at $10 featuring 3 festive colors, including festive red chocolate, white vanilla, and blue confetti. Entirely different from the common worry about pre-packaged cakes being dry and hard, the cake core here is moist, soft, and fluffy, melting instantly in your mouth while the outer coating is moderately sweet without feeling waxy. The manufacturing facility guarantees a nut-free environment, which gives peace of mind for kids with allergies. However, the cake still contains gluten, so anyone on a wheat-free diet needs to pay attention. 20. Albanese Gummy Bears. The bag of Albanese gummy bears weighs up to 2.5 pounds and costs $8. The packaging confidently claims it's the world's best, and its soft, chewy texture does not disappoint. The only issue is that the bag is quite large. If your household has few people, or if you are trying to cut back on sugar, you should consider it carefully before buying. If you are hesitant about eating it all by yourself, you can divide it into several Ziploc bags to make portion control easier. 21. Blueberry Custard Pie. I have to be straightforward. This $19 blueberry pie doesn't leave much of an impression after the first bite. The blueberry flavor is so faint that if I didn't look at the name on the box, I would probably have a hard time guessing what flavor it is, while the custard part is indeed smooth but completely lacks the rich, bold flavor that a good custard pie needs. At this price point, I think you can absolutely find a choice that is more worth your money elsewhere in the store. 22. Frozen Apple Custard Pie. The frozen apple custard pie just arrived in stock this week, weighing up to 5 pounds and priced at $20. But this is one of the new items that requires the most careful consideration on today's entire list. Its sweetness goes way beyond a normally pleasant level, making you feel overwhelmed before even finishing a single bite. While the apple filling has a slightly grainy texture after thawing, rather than being as smooth as expected from a good apple pie. Many shoppers who bought it have reported the same situation, with the pie sitting untouched on the party table from the beginning to the end of the event without anyone taking more than 2 bites. After a somewhat controversial item just now, the next section is much more pleasant, and there is at least one item that is highly likely to appear at every single one of your summer parties. 23. Mini Soda Variety Pack. This 30-count pack of mini-sized soda cans is priced at $17.80 and features a mix of 3 familiar flavors: Sprite, Fanta Orange, and Cherry Coca-Cola, with 10 cans of each flavor. The small volume is just right, making it perfect for households with kids or anyone who wants to avoid consuming too much sugar at once, preventing the scenario of opening a large can only to leave it half-finished. 24. Traditional Mini Coca-Cola Pack. If you prefer to stay loyal only to the original cola flavor, Costco also offers a dedicated 30-count pack of mini cans for $17.30. No recipe changes, no other flavor mixes, just simply the familiar drink that everyone knows before popping the top. This remains the safest choice if your household has older guests who are only used to drinking one exact flavor. 25. Welch's Sparkling Juice. This 3-bottle set of Welch's Sparkling Juice is priced at $9.50 and includes 3 flavors: strawberry, white grape, and blueberry, and is completely non-alcoholic. The glass bottles look as upscale as champagne, making it perfect for the whole family to toast together during the holidays without anyone having to worry about alcohol. Pouring it into glasses to serve guests during dinner also creates a much more formal feel compared to standard soda cans. 26. Sparkling Ice Lifesavers Flavored Soda. This limited edition collaboration between Sparkling Ice and Lifesavers Candy just debuted this week, featuring a variety pack priced at $13 with 4 fruit candy flavors, among which Wild Cherry is rated as the most satisfying to drink. The zero sugar label sounds appealing, but reading further into the ingredients makes the story a bit more complicated, because to accurately replicate the candy flavor without using real sugar, the manufacturer had to rely on the artificial sweetener, sucralose. 27. Organic Fruit Ice Pops. Summer without a few ice pops ready in the freezer means missing out on half the fun for the kids. And this 40-count bag of organic fruit ice pops, priced at $9.90, is well worth stocking up on. It is USDA organic certified, with no artificial colorings or sugars. The only thing is that it is still in liquid form when purchased, so you must put it in the freezer for at least 24 hours before it can be eaten. 28. Summer and Festive Patterned Paper Plates. Moving over to disposable items for outdoor parties, this pack of summer fireworks printed paper plates is priced at $10 for 100 counts. This is a one-time seasonal run. Costco will not restock them once they sell out. If you see them still available at your local warehouse, you should grab them right away instead of saving the decision for later. 29. Hefty Plastic Party Cups. Cleaning up after a crowded party is always the most dreadful part, and this 140-count bag of hefty plastic cups priced at only $9 helps lighten that burden significantly. They have an 18-ounce capacity and come in 3 styles: red, blue, and clear cups printed with fireworks. You can just toss them out after use, saving you from having to wash a whole stack of glasses. 30. Yukon Igloo Hard Cooler. If you want your drinks to stay ice cold throughout an entire day of tailgating or picnicking without having to constantly top off the ice, the Yukon Igloo Hard Cooler is an option worth considering, even though the $130 price tag is by no means cheap. The roto-molded technology, along with the thick insulating foam layer, holds ice for a very long time. The only pity is that the cooler does not have wheels, so when it is fully loaded with items inside, hauling it back and forth is quite a chore. 31. Titan Insulated Wine Tote Bag. Bringing wine to a picnic while fearing it will get warm midway through is exactly the worry that these Titan insulated tote bags solve. Priced at $20, the bag can hold 4 bottles at the same time thanks to the included gel ice packs. The packs need to be frozen beforehand for about 8 to 10 hours, but in return, they keep things cold for a very long time afterward. Enough for a prolonged outdoor party without having to worry about the wine getting warm midway. The outer fabric material is quite thick, so there is no fear of tearing when stuffing a few extra beverage cans alongside the wine bottles, while the carrying handles and shoulder strap make transporting it much easier. If your area has ever experienced an unexpected power outage in the middle of the night without anything to light the way, the next section deserves more attention than usual. 32. Duracell Ultra Bright LED Backpacking Lantern 4-Pack. This is also the final batch of outdoor gear before Costco clears the shelves to make room for fall items, so it is well worth picking up before inventory runs out. This 4-pack of Duracell LED backpacking lanterns puts out 1,500 lumens per lantern. The white light is powerful and evenly distributed, even though the lantern fits compactly in the palm of your hand, and the price is $20 for the entire set. Plus, they come with built-in hanging hooks and genuine Duracell batteries included. With this design, these lanterns are perfect to keep in your glove compartment or family medicine cabinet in case of a power outage or an emergency need for light in the middle of the night. 33. Infinity XT Solar LED Lights. For the yard, there is another option for nighttime lighting. A 2-pack of Infinity XT Solar LED lights, priced at $30, which puts out up to 2,000 lumens. The best thing about this type of light is that there is no need to dig up the ground or run electrical wires. You just stake them into the ground in a spot that catches daytime sunlight, and at night, the lights turn on automatically thanks to a highly sensitive motion sensor. Breaking it down, it's only $15 per light, which is quite cheap for an automated security lighting system that sweeps light across dark corners around the house. 34 Febreze Car Air Fresheners. As for inside the car, this 5-pack of Febreze Car Air Fresheners priced at $8 is a small item well worth tossing into your cart. It breaks down to only about $1.60 a bottle, which is significantly cheaper than buying them individually at convenience stores, where they typically cost anywhere from $2 to $4 each. A small saving tip, but with long-term effectiveness for your family vehicle. If you have ever bought a potted plant home only to watch it wither away within a few weeks without understanding why, the next section might help prevent that from happening again. 35. Sweet Pea Shrub. Stepping into the garden center, the atmosphere this week is notably bustling because a new shipment of sweet pea shrubs has just arrived, priced at $18 per pot. The best-looking pots are usually grabbed early in the morning by savvy gardeners, so anyone planning to buy one should go early in the day. Compared to prices at private nurseries, the $18 price tag for such a healthy, well-sized pot remains highly competitive. 36. Hydrangeas. More beautiful but significantly finickier are the hydrangeas, priced at $19 per bush. The plant needs to be thoroughly watered every day to keep the soil moist and only tolerates gentle morning sunlight. Placing it under the harsh afternoon sun will cause it to wither instantly, so you should only bring one home if your yard already has a suitable shady corner. This price is quite cheap for a large hydrangea bush compared to the general market average. The next section features a small, memorable tip if you often host weekend barbecues. 37. Pre-seasoned boneless pork ribs. The fresh meat department this week also features 2 new options for the outdoor grilling season. The pre-seasoned boneless pork ribs are priced at around $4 a pound, making a tray come out to about $24. The meat is thick-cut, and the seasonings have already penetrated deep into every fiber, so there is no need for the usual overnight marinating. Just grill over medium heat, flipping regularly so the meat cooks thoroughly on the inside without burning the sauce layer on the outside. 38. Carne asada seasoned beef chuck steak. If you want a change of flavor, the carne asada style marinated beef chuck steak is priced at $25 to $26 per tray, bringing a signature Latin American flavor profile of lime, garlic, and cilantro. One tray is typically enough to comfortably feed 4 to 5 people, and the slight acidity from the lime also helps balance out the richness of the meat. One thing worth remembering is that new arrivals at Costco are typically displayed in the areas at the front of the aisles or on the pallet displays in the middle of the walkways, rather than being mixed into the familiar shelves. Next time you stop by the store, just keep an eye on those areas to easily spot new items before they run out of stock. While you're still paying premium prices for familiar brands, there are 12 items at Costco with quality that is on par with, or even far superior to them at a much lower price. And the last 3 items in this video are what you need to know before wasting your hard-earned money. You rock if you subscribe and like this video. 1. Kirkland Signature 5-ply stainless steel cookware set. When it comes to high-end cookware, the first name almost every cooking enthusiast mentions is All-Clad, and a 10-piece set from their copper core line ranges from $750 to over $1,000. On the other hand, Costco sells the Kirkland Signature 5-ply set for $200, only a quarter of that price. And after using it for a while, I finally understand why longtime home cooks whisper to each other about it. The secret lies in the multi-ply construction, where the metal layers are tightly bonded from the base all the way up to the rims, rather than stopping just at the bottom like conventional 3-ply pots. The innermost layer that touches the food is stainless steel, so it won't react with acidic ingredients like tomatoes or vinegar, while the middle aluminum and copper layers help distribute heat evenly across the entire pan, preventing hot spots that burn the bottom of your food. The rims are slightly flared outward, so when you pour broth or sauce, the liquid flows straight into the bowl instead of dripping down the side of the pot and messing up your entire stovetop. The steel handles are securely dual riveted, minimizing heat transfer to your hands while you cook. This cookware works on all cooktops, including induction, and is completely safe to put in the oven at temperatures up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. The set also comes with a lifetime warranty from Costco, meaning if there's an issue with the bottom of a pot a few years down the road, you can still bring it back for an exchange without spending another dime. If you've been hesitating for years over whether to drop $1,000 on a high-end cookware set, this is probably the most practical answer without sacrificing quality. If you've recently found yourself standing hesitantly in front of an item wondering if it's worth the money, the next 3 items might help you answer that question much faster. 2. CalPack Every Multi-Piece Luggage Combo. If your family has plans to fly out this summer to visit the kids and grandkids or take a long vacation, the CalPack Every luggage set is currently marked down to $149.99, saving you over $30 off the original price. Buying 2 equivalent pieces individually at Nordstrom or directly on the brand's website would cost you nearly $470. That's a difference of over $300 just because of buying it in the wrong place. This set includes a carry-on size that fits perfectly in the airplane's overhead bin and a larger checked bag, making it pretty much enough for a long trip without needing to buy extra loose luggage. The shells are made from polycarbonate plastic with great flexibility, so they can take a beating on the airport baggage carousel without any worry of cracking or denting after a few flights like cheap luggage does. The wheels rotate 360 degrees so it rolls very smoothly, putting zero strain on your wrist or shoulder, unlike older luggage models with only 2 directional wheels. Something anyone who has ever dragged heavy luggage across a massive airport will immediately appreciate. The suitcases also feature built-in TSA-approved combination locks, so you don't have to buy separate padlocks and worry about losing the keys. Right next to it, Costco is also displaying an American Tourister set for $170. But putting the 2 sets side by side, the CalPack is not only $20 cheaper, but it also looks way more upscale and rolls noticeably smoother. For people who travel frequently to visit kids and grandkids far away, this is a small investment that saves a ton of physical fatigue on the road. 3. Stroller wagon. If you have young grandkids at home, you've probably heard your children mention those kids' stroller wagons from Veer or Wonderfold, the kind sold at major shopping malls for anywhere from $400 to nearly $900 each. Costco sells a stroller wagon model with an equally sturdy chassis and wheels that can handle both gravel paths and beach sand, yet it costs only $200. The wagon features a retractable sun canopy, 2 seats with enough room for 2 small grandkids to sit side by side, along with several cup holders and snack compartments for the kids while on the move. Pushing the grandkids to the park, the beach, or around a summer fair is no longer a physical burden, as the wagon's frame carries the weight instead of the arms and shoulders of grandparents or parents. When you're done using it, the wagon folds up quite compactly, so it can still fit into the trunk of a mid-sized car without taking up all the storage space. The wagon has a high weight capacity, allowing the kids to use it for many consecutive years rather than just playing with it for one summer and then leaving it in the corner. So, in the grand scheme of things, it's a much better value than expensive toys that kids only stay interested in for a few weeks. 4. Slumberchill 6-piece cooling sheet set. Cooling technology sheet sets sold at Target or Macy's usually range from $60 to $90 for a 6-piece set, a price point that makes many people hesitate just to sleep a little cooler. Meanwhile, the Slumberchill set at Costco is only $44.99 for a queen size, and the king size is just a little over $10 more. True to its name, the fabric dissipates heat very quickly and always feels cool to the touch rather than trapping heat against your back throughout the night. This provides immense relief for many people over 50 who frequently experience nighttime hot flashes. Additionally, the fabric has excellent moisture-wicking capabilities, so if you tend to get night sweats, the sheets won't stick to your back like regular cotton does. This is actually much more important than how soft it feels when you first buy it, especially on muggy nights. The sheet set is machine washable, requiring no hand washing or dry cleaning, and it retains its original softness and cooling feel without pilling even after many washes. The fitted sheet also has deep pockets, so it fits even thick mattresses without the worry of the corners slipping off in the middle of the night like some cheap sheets do. The colors of the sheet set lean toward warm neutral tones, matching most bedrooms without requiring you to change your entire existing bedding set. Pairing it with a cooling pillow from the same line pretty much gives you a complete combo that makes summer sleep significantly more comfortable without spending too much money on bedroom upgrades. I have to confess, one of the items I'm about to mention was something I ignored for a whole year because I thought it was unnecessary until I actually tried it. 5. Digital thermometer set. For this year's outdoor grilling season, there's an item at Costco that I think everyone should keep an eye on. The digital thermometer set. What's great about this item is that it solves two problems at once that you would normally have to buy two separate items for. A good standalone infrared thermometer gun on the market already runs about $25, and adding an internal meat thermometer probe will cost you another $12 to $15, combining for a total that's nearly the price of a restaurant meal. Costco bundles both items into a single set for just $20. This year's version has even switched to a darker color palette, looking significantly more upscale than the older versions from previous years. And it comes with batteries included, so you can use it right out of the box without running out to buy more. The infrared gun helps you quickly measure the temperature of your grill grates or cast iron skillet without touching them, which is very convenient when your hands are busy flipping food. The digital probe can be inserted straight into a steak or a turkey to ensure the inside is perfectly cooked through, eliminating the need to cut it open to check and losing the juices. The measurement range of both tools is wide enough to be used for both outdoor grilling and baking in the oven, so you don't have to buy a separate probe for the kitchen. With this set in hand, you no longer have to guess and risk the reputation of serving meat that is burnt on the outside but raw on the inside, especially when you have guests over for dinner. 6. 2-pack portable power bank charging station. This is probably the most spectacular showdown among today's group of products. A portable power bank with a similar capacity and slim, lightweight design from familiar brands like Anker or Basius on Amazon already costs between $22 and $25 for just a single unit, whereas Costco sells a whole 2-pack set for only $23. The design is slim and lightweight, not bulky like older generations of power banks that you have to stuff deep into a handbag just to make them fit. Each unit can charge a phone nearly to full from empty, which is plenty for a long day out without having to carry a cluttered mess of charging cables, and the box already includes the necessary cables so you don't have to rummage around looking for loose ones. The point I find most convenient is that the connector is compatible with both of today's most common port types. So whether your family uses an iPhone or an Android, it will still fit perfectly without having to swap out cables every time family members borrow them back and forth. 7. Bentgo 18-piece glass food storage set. Bentgo's glass food storage set is priced at $59.99 for an 18-piece set, which sounds quite a bit higher compared to a regular plastic container set that usually costs around $15 to $20. But before you pass it up due to the price, there is something worth considering more carefully. Even if plastic containers are labeled microwave safe, reheating them at high temperatures over time still carries certain potential risks, not to mention the staining from tomato sauce or lingering odors that won't wash away, something just about every household has encountered at least once. This Bentgo set is completely different. It features thick, heat-resistant glass and tight rubber gaskets that provide excellent leak protection when taking food to work or on a picnic. What I love about this set is that it features a variety of different shapes, from square and rectangular containers to round bowls, making them stack much more neatly in the fridge compared to a set of containers that are all the same size and shape as typically seen. This set is also freezer-safe and oven-safe at moderate temperatures, making it significantly more versatile than plastic containers. 8. Solar Address Sign Light. The Solar Address Sign Light at Costco sells for $35, sitting right in the sweet spot between the two common options on the market. The cheap plastic kind online only costs about $20 to $25. But after a few months of exposure to sun and rain, the light dims significantly. On the other hand, the durable rust-resistant metal kind at home, improvement stores requires you to shell out $45 to $60. The light charges itself during the day and shines brightly throughout the night, making it durable enough that you don't have to keep replacing it every year like the cheap ones. Installation is also quite simple, requiring just a few screws or the adhesive tape included in the box, with no need to call a handyman or spend extra on labor costs. The displayed numbers are large enough to be clearly seen from the street at night. To be honest, this isn't a shocking bargain like some of the other items on today's list, but if you just need your house to be easily found at night, both for delivery drivers and ambulances in case of an emergency, then this is a reasonable choice without having to pay premium prices. I also noticed that the light still shines consistently even after a long streak of rain for several consecutive days, something that a cheap plastic model might not be able to do. 9. 8-piece acrylic tumbler set. If your family often hosts parties in the backyard or by the pool, you've probably had headaches over glass cups shattering into pieces from just a slight bump on the patio tiles. The 8-piece acrylic tumbler set at Costco solves that exact worry, and the price is only $16 for the whole set, which breaks down to $2 a piece. Meanwhile, faux glass tumbler sets made of the same material at Target or Bed Bath and Beyond usually retail from $24 to $32 for a 6 or 8-piece set. The tumblers are quite sturdy and highly impact resistant, so there's no worry of them cracking or breaking when dropped on tile floors or bumped against the faucet, which I find very practical for large gatherings. On top of that, they are also dishwasher safe and won't get cloudy after a few washes like some other cheap plastics. Each tumbler comes in a different color, so guests won't accidentally grab each other's drinks during the party. This acrylic material is also BPA-free, making it more reassuring when used to serve water to small grandkids compared to some cheap plastic types. 10. Adidas men's athletic shorts. Adidas is not a brand that often offers deep discounts, so when I saw their men's athletic shorts at Costco for just $11.99, already marked down $2 from the original price, I had to stop and take a closer look. Walking into an official Adidas store or Dick's Sporting Goods, you can rarely find a similar pair of shorts under $25 to $30, making this price point truly noteworthy. The breathable knit fabric is classic Adidas quality, offering great stretch, and the soft elastic waistband won't leave marks on your stomach when worn for a long time. The shorts also feature deep pockets to hold a phone or keys when heading out, which is convenient for morning walks or working in the yard. Costco usually carries a full range of sizes from small to extra large, and the shorts are easy to care for, just standard machine washable without any worry of shrinking or fading after a few laundry cycles. Personally, I find the fit of the shorts to be just right, not too tight and not too baggy, making them more suitable for middle-aged body types than some of the tight, youthful shorts on the market today. 11. LOLE Unisex Belt Bag. Hands-free belt bags are currently highly popular because they are convenient for walking, traveling, or simply when you don't want to carry a large wallet around. Lolly has a unisex model selling at Costco for $14.99. And to be completely honest, looking at the stitching and material quality, it is on par with the Lululemon Everywhere belt bag that sells for $38 out there. The outer fabric is high-density nylon, which provides quite good water resistance, so you don't have to worry about your phone or wallet getting wet if you encounter a sudden rain shower. The YKK-style two-way zipper makes it easy to open the bag with one hand, no matter which angle you are wearing it on your body. Inside, there are 3 small mesh compartments to keep your cards, lipstick, and keys neatly organized, while the zippered pocket on the back is perfect for holding a passport or phone when traveling abroad. This compartment sits flush against your body, making it hard for pickpockets to get in without you noticing. A feature that gives me much more peace of mind when going to crowded parks or traveling internationally. The strap length is adjustable, allowing it to fit various body types without being too tight or slipping off mid-walk. For those who frequently take their grandkids to amusement parks or go for morning walks, having a compact bag like this is much more convenient than lugging around a huge handbag. The final item in today's must-buy section is related to food, and I bet it will make you hungry instantly. 12. Chipotle Crispy Chicken Wings. This summer coincides with major sporting events, and if you plan to stock up on snacks for watch parties with friends, Costco's Chipotle Crispy Chicken Wings are worth looking into. A 4-pound bag costs $17.29, which might sound like a lot, but if you do the math, you'll see it completely differently. Buying pre-cooked wings at a place like Buffalo Wild Wings or a local diner costs at least $1.50 per wing. The signature smoky flavor of the chipotle peppers, blended with the crispiness of the chicken skin, creates a rather addictive taste. Trying just one bite explains exactly why many families buy this item over and over again. The chicken wings are pre-marinated, requiring just about 20 minutes in the oven before they are ready to serve, with no extra prep steps needed. The bag also keeps well in the freezer for several months, so buying it once provides a quick meal option for multiple occasions without the worry of spoilage. Compared to frozen chicken wings bought at the meat counters of other grocery stores, this variety also stands out in terms of flavor thanks to its rich marinade, unlike many bland options in the same price range. The first time I bought it was just to give it a try, but in the end, the whole family fought over it and finished it completely in a single evening. However, the next section is what I think many people need to hear the most, as it can save you from a few bad purchases. 13. Blueberry Sourdough Sandwich Bread. The blueberry sourdough sandwich bread that just appeared in the Costco bakery section sounds really appealing at first. The tangy flavor of sourdough starter combined with fruity sweetness sounds like an ideal breakfast. However, flipping over to the ingredient list on the back of this nearly 2-pound, $8.99 loaf reveals that things are not as advertised. Aside from a quite meager amount of dried blueberries, the eye-catching purple color and fruity flavor come mostly from artificial flavoring and food coloring, rather than from real fruit as the name suggests. The bread's texture has also been reported by many to be quite dry, completely lacking the signature chewiness that traditionally makes authentic sourdough famous. For a loaf labeled as artisanal with a price tag of nearly $9, I think this is an expense that doesn't quite match what you get in return. I bought it once out of curiosity, and after finishing the first 2 slices, I felt regret. The rest had to go into the freezer to wait to be made into garlic butter toast to avoid wasting it. If you truly crave real sourdough, it's probably better to find a plain, unflavored loaf and add your own blueberry jam at home. It's both cheaper and allows you to control the level of sweetness. 14. Knit Fabric Cushion Lap Desk. This lap desk wrapped in soft knit fabric just returned to the clearance shelves for $29.97, and at first glance, it looks exactly like something anyone who frequently browses on their laptop from bed or the sofa would want to buy right away. However, there is something tech experts recently warned about that I think is worth knowing before bringing it home. This fabric cushion layer accidentally acts as an insulator, completely covering the cooling vents on the bottom of your laptop. The lack of airflow causes the machine to heat up faster than usual, which in the long run can degrade battery life or affect the internal processor. If you still want a flat surface to place your laptop when sitting in bed, I recommend choosing one with a hardwood or plastic surface instead of this fabric-wrapped type, so the machine still has room to dissipate heat without trading your device's lifespan for comfort. Costco also sells a few types of hard surface laptop trays separately, and the price difference isn't much, yet they are significantly safer for the machine you use every day. There is one final item on today's list, and to be completely honest, this is the easiest item to mistake for a tasty treat simply because the name sounds so appealing. 15. Alani Nu Cotton Candy Energy Drink. Cotton candy flavor always has a way of hitting childhood nostalgia, reminding us of old-school summer fairs, and that's probably why the 18-can case of Alani Nu Cotton Candy Energy Drinks just hit the beverage aisle for $25.64. However, replicating the exact taste of cotton candy, which is inherently just melted cane sugar, in a sugar-free can of soda, is a completely different story. To achieve that, the manufacturer has to use a large amount of potent artificial sweeteners like sucralose combined with complex synthetic flavorings. The result is a harsh, throat-burning sweetness that leaves a chemical aftertaste, which quite a few people have described as sounding exactly like children's cough syrup or a grape-flavored effervescent tablet, rather than a refreshing beverage. The beauty of buying in bulk at Costco is getting a cheaper price for large quantities, but that principle is only beneficial when you actually drink it all. Buying a whole case of 18 cans, but being unable to finish even the first half of a can because it's too harsh on your throat ultimately ends up being a waste no matter how cheap each can is. Today's list is just a small fraction of what Costco is selling, as their inventory constantly changes with the seasons, so don't hesitate to explore more on your own every time you stop by. Just remember, no matter how novel an item is, take a few seconds to look at the ingredient label and compare prices with other places before tossing it into your cart. This small habit will significantly lighten the burden on your wallet in the long run. Costco has just added a massive amount of new products to the shelves, and some of them are disappearing faster than you think. I went through every single aisle, and there are 12 things I want you to see before someone else spots them first. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Bathroom accessories. Jolie Filtered Showerhead. Jolie is a name that's being talked about quite a bit lately, and Costco just put it on the shelves at a lower price than buying it directly from the brand's website. This product promises to solve the problem of dry skin and hair loss caused by chlorine in tap water, making it especially useful for renters or those who aren't ready to invest in a whole house water filtration system. The filter inside the shower head actively removes chlorine and heavy metals right at the point of contact and up to 12 months before needing a replacement. Breaking it down, the monthly cost is negligible compared to the money many people are currently spending on hair care products or moisturizers just to compensate for the exact issue that Jolie solves at the source for only $140. Devgiri Bath Mat. At a price point of $14.99, the Devgiri Bath Mat features a 3D textured mesh surface that dries water quickly, along with a genuine non-slip rubber backing on wet tiles, making it exceptionally safe for older adults. The 24 by 36 inch size is a perfect standard fit, so no extra measuring is required. There is one thing that Costco quietly improved compared to last year. And if you ever bought the old version, you will understand why this one is much more worth buying. 2. Home utilities and summer gear. Misting fan. Unlike conventional high-pressure nozzle fans that often drench the surrounding furniture and clothing, this misting fan creates an ultra-fine water vapor barrier that helps lower patio temperatures by 9 to 13 degrees Fahrenheit without you feeling wet at all. The fan features a compact design, integrating both a regular wind mode and a misting mode, making it ideal for those afternoons sitting out on the porch. At $70, this is a reasonable investment for an outdoor summer. New model shopping bag. Following up on last year's craze, Costco listened to feedback for this new version and fixed the exact spot that users complained about the most. The loose Velcro strip from the older version has been completely replaced with an airtight dual zipper, combined with a matte laminated coating over heavy-duty PP woven fabric that holds up to 40 pounds. The bag passively retains cold temperatures for frozen foods during a 45-minute drive under the summer sun. For $7, there is no reason to say no. Serenity Mattress Protector. A total lifesaver for hot sleepers who experience back sweats but don't want to replace their entire mattress. The heat transfer fiber weave technology creates an instant cooling sensation upon touching the surface, continuously lowering contact temperatures by about 3 to 4 degrees Fahrenheit while you sleep. This is enough to prevent the back sweat phenomenon that many people frequently experience in the summer, even when the air conditioner is running. Compared to dropping several hundred or even thousands of dollars to replace a mattress for the same reason, spending $150 on this protector is a clear money-saving equation. Sealy Air Mattress. This comes with a built-in 120-volt electric pump, a canvas carry bag, and even features a headboard to create a real bed feel for visiting guests. The interior is engineered with supportive structural columns that keep the surface flat, preventing it from rocking or wobbling when the person sleeping next to you tosses and turns. At $83, this is an air mattress choice with significantly better quality than cheap manual pump alternatives. Power Lazy Sofa Recliner. A price tag of $600 might sound like a lot for a chair, but when placed into the exact segment of leather power recliners with built-in USB charging ports, this is quite a bargain compared to the current market. With just the push of a button, the chair reclines flat to 160 degrees to evenly distribute body weight, noticeably reducing pressure on the lower back after a long day. Ring Smoke Detectors. This smart safety device has just returned to Costco's shelves as a 2-pack for $100. The most notable point isn't the Ring connectivity or receiving alerts on your phone, but rather its ability to differentiate between cooking smoke and an actual slow-burning fire, preventing false alarms every time you toast bread or saute food. You can choose between the battery-operated or hardwired version depending on your home's layout, and all alerts are pushed directly to the Ring app with no additional monthly subscription fee. One of the most practical improvements I've seen at Costco during this run isn't a tech gadget, nor is it outdoor gear, but rather something you use every single day in the kitchen. 3. Kitchen Appliances Department. Cuisinart Coffee Maker. This new generation from Cuisinart adds a cold brew feature this time around that delivers coffee shop quality flavor in just 5 minutes, something the previous version could not do. The machine works with both K-cup pods and ground coffee, and its modern brushed metal design fits into almost any kitchen space. At $70 for a versatile machine that handles hot coffee, iced coffee, and cold brew, this is a price point that is hard to find anywhere else with the same features. Nugget Ice Maker. This is currently marked down $50 from its original price, making it a great deal for a nugget ice maker with a capacity of 44 pounds per day. Nugget ice is a soft, chewable, crunchy type of ice that absorbs beverage flavors exceptionally well. The exact reason many people are willing to spend extra money on a separate machine just to make this specific ice instead of using regular ice from the refrigerator. However, if you are not in an immediate rush, next week's Prime Day might be a better time to put your money down. Kohler trash can. The Kohler is more noteworthy than a regular trash can for exactly one specific point that few people think about when buying, yet is the most annoying thing every day: the noise. The soft close lid mechanism of the Kohler trash can is completely silent, while also trapping odors inside so they aren't forced out each time the lid closes. It features fingerprint-resistant stainless steel and a removable plastic inner liner for easy cleaning. At $25 for the Kohler brand with this mechanism, this is a reasonable price. 4. Kitchen upgrades. Bentgo Lunchbox. This has returned at a cheaper price than last year and fixes the exact spot that users complained about the most. The dividers between the compartments of the Bentgo are now completely leak-proof, giving you the freedom to pack soup or sauces right next to sandwiches or fruit without worrying about them leaking into each other, even if the box is turned upside down inside a backpack. The included removable ice gel tray keeps food cool for up to 4 hours, saving space when not in use. Hello Kitty/Snoopy ceramic containers. For anyone looking for a food storage solution that is more serious than standard plastic containers, this 4-piece Hello Kitty and Snoopy ceramic container set at $24 is worth considering. Premium ceramic does not retain odors, yellow, or get stained by grease when holding dishes with tomato sauce. They feature tight-fitting rubber gasket lids and can go straight from the refrigerator into the microwave without any worry of cracking. 5-piece mixing bowl set. If you want more variety, there is a 5-piece mixing bowl set that comes in all sizes with vibrant summer color tones. The non-slip rubber bottoms of this bowl set help lock the bowls firmly to the countertop when using a hand mixer or kneading heavy dough. They can be used for everything from baking to food storage with the accompanying lids, making $20 for the entire 5-piece set a practical price. 5. Apparel department. Cat shorts. Caterpillar is not a name that often pops up in the Costco apparel department, but when you see it here, it is worth stopping for. The fabric is woven with a specialized heavy-duty ripstop grid. If you accidentally scrape against a nail or a sharp branch while gardening, the rip is stopped right at that grid square instead of tearing wide open. It features spacious pockets and durable stitching, true to the brand's reputation, all for $18. Gap Henley shirt. Few people would think they'd find Gap at Costco at this price point. This Henley shirt stretches naturally with your movements, doesn't get misshapen or saggy after multiple wash and dry cycles, and the placket retains its shape well. Its clean cut makes it suitable to wear both at home and out. And at $11, you can grab a few more colors without thinking twice. Karen Neuberger Pajama Set. It features subtle colors and a lightweight, breathable material, exactly what you need for the summer. The most notable point is that the shirt doesn't get crumpled or wrinkled after a night's sleep, which is exactly where cheap sleepwear usually fails from the very first wash. The entire set is $17, making it easy to wear and easy to choose. Hurley shoes. This time, Hurley brings a line of slip-ons featuring a 5mm memory foam cushioned insole that contours closely to your foot. The upper is treated with water-repellent technology, so you don't have to worry about getting it wet at the beach or walking around the pool. Outside of their official retail stores, $23 for these shoes is a price you rarely encounter. Body glove slides. For anyone who frequently stands in the kitchen for a long time or walks around the house a lot, these $12 body glove slides feature a contoured footbed that hugs the shape of your foot, offering noticeably better heel and arch support than regular flat sandals. The quality is significantly better than the price suggests. Americana t-shirts. These shirts dropped right in time for the 4th of July, with each color featuring a distinct, free-spirited design. They are perfect for summer outdoor gatherings. Just pick whichever color you like. I know it's only July, but what Costco just put out will make you rethink waiting until the actual season to buy. 6. Lawn and garden decor. Lyrata tree. Costco surprises everyone by selling these over 6-foot-tall Lyrata trees with vibrant green leaves and healthy trunks for just $53. Typically, a tree of this size at professional nurseries costs no less than $100, and in many places goes up to $150 depending on the size. The plant only requires indirect light and moderate watering, making it perfect for a living room corner or a home office. Giant skeleton. It's the end of summer and Costco is already displaying Halloween gear, and this is actually the smartest time to buy. By October, when you actually need it, this giant skeleton will almost certainly be long gone. Or if it is still around, the price won't be what it is now. At $260 for a classic giant-sized decoration, for anyone who seriously invests in Halloween every year, buying early right now is a much simpler equation than waiting for the peak season. Artificial palm tree. The level of craftsmanship on this palm tree looks more realistic and high-end than most artificial plants in the same segment. It's perfect for creating a green space in a living room corner or an office without requiring a single drop of watering care. For someone who lacks the time or environment to care for a real plant, paying $120 for a tall, beautiful tree year-round is a practical choice. Autumn mat. Costco is getting a head start on the upcoming season with this $18 autumn mat, featuring a subtle festive pattern that fits perfectly right on your doorstep. The mat is thickly woven and comes in multiple patterns to choose from based on your household preference. Castle Haven Inflatable Bouncer. A great deal for a mini backyard play area for the kids at $200. The Castle Haven Inflatable Bouncer inflates quickly and features safe, heavy-duty mesh walls. The only downside worth knowing beforehand is that once playtime is over, folding it back neatly into the storage bag requires quite a bit of patience. 7. Outdoor activities and holidays. Tommy Bahama Hammock Chair. Tommy Bahama has just returned to Costco's shelves with this hammock chair, which is currently marked down $10 from its original price. The premium woven fabric wraps completely around your body, making it just as convenient for gently swaying under the shade of a tree in the backyard or folding up tightly into the trunk of your car for a camping trip. At $40 for the Tommy Bahama brand, this is a price point rarely seen outside of Costco. Cascade Camping Chair. Unlike those folding chairs that tend to have their joints buckle after a few uses, this Cascade Camping Chair features a thick aluminum frame that sturdily supports a static weight capacity of up to 300 pounds. The comfortable armrest covers integrate a deep and wide side mesh pocket, which is just enough to keep a soda can or a phone from falling out when sitting on uneven terrain. It sits at the same $40 price point as the Tommy Bahama chair. Party poppers and party favors. The perfect duo to hype up the atmosphere for birthday parties or 4th of July fireworks nights. The party poppers create a crisp, fun snapping sound accompanied by vibrant ribbons, making them safe for both young children and adults. The $35 party favor set takes it up a notch with light and sound effects that perfectly capture the festive spirit. 8. New desserts and treats. Dubai Mousse Cups. Costco has caught onto the Dubai chocolate wave that has been taking the world by storm, and this time it's worth a try to see if this version truly hits the mark. The 6-pack is priced at $14.89, which is less than $2.50 per cup for a combination of premium Belgian chocolate, a rich and creamy pistachio mousse layer, and a crunchy cookie crumble at the bottom. At this price point, it's an opportunity to try it without a second thought. 3D Peach and Mango Ice Pops. The highlight of this 3D Ice Pop line is the molding that precisely mimics the exact shapes of real peaches and mangoes, featuring a naturally refreshing and subtly sweet tropical fruit flavor. It's an ideal cooling treat for the kids during hot summer days, and at $11 for the whole box, it is a reasonable price. Lemon Pretzels. Snack Factory is famous for its unique and unconventional flavor combinations, and this time, they've pulled it off again. The marriage between the subtle tartness of lemon and the outer white chocolate coating might sound strange, but it is incredibly addictive. At $8 for a bag, it's worth trying at least once. Madeleine? Contradicting their simple appearance, these shell-shaped sponge cakes feature a rich, buttery aroma with a soft, fluffy, and slightly moist texture at the core, instead of being bone-dry like typical industrially packaged cakes. The 12-pack is priced at $10. Enjoying them alongside an afternoon cup of tea leaves, absolutely nothing to complain about. Drizzle Bites Brown Rice Cakes. Another healthy snack option featuring 3 flavors for those who are managing their weight or need an alternative to conventional snacks. They are light, crunchy, and leave you feeling completely guilt-free after eating. At $15 for the whole bag, it is an acceptable price point for a healthy snack line. 4th of July themed cookies. Featuring a vibrant red, white, and blue color palette that brings the festive spirit, this 24-count box at $10 is perfect for setting up an Independence Day party table. The cookies have just the right amount of crunch with a rich, sweet flavor, making them great to nibble on with a cup of tea or black coffee. I found some budget-friendly treasures featuring price tags ending in .97. Get ready to hunt them down quickly before they run out. 9. Clearance section. The DKNY bags. A rare opportunity to own a bag from the DKNY Fashion House at a clearance price of $24.97, a figure normally only seen during end-of-season outlet sales. The design is compact and hands-free, yet still spacious enough to hold more than standard clutches, making it neat and tidy whether you're grocery shopping or strolling down the street. When you see that .97 on the price tag, it means Costco wants to liquidate the stock quickly. And with designer brands, you shouldn't wait around. Nordic Ware Baking Sheet Set, made in the USA, is the first notable highlight of this sheet set. Nordic Ware is a long-standing kitchen brand that anyone who bakes knows by name. The clearance price of $14.97 for a two-piece set, which includes one perforated sheet to help make crust crispy and one smooth sheet made of pure aluminum, is a rare price point to encounter for this brand. Box of Scotch-Brite sponges. Scotch-Brite is a trusted brand in the kitchen, and stocking up on a large 24-pack of high-quality sponges at a clearance price of $9.97 is a smart spending choice that every household will end up needing sooner or later. Costco completely refreshed the deli department this month, and if you haven't stopped by yet, you are missing out on a lineup of new dishes priced under $10 that taste just as good as takeout. 10. Food and Deli Department. Kirkland Smoked Pork Ribs. Kirkland ribs are already seasoned with a dry rub and fully cooked, so you just need to reheat them and they are ready to serve. They are perfect to bring along for camping or a summer BBQ. At $8.99 per pound for pre-processed ribs, this is a price point that saves you a significant amount of prep work. Beef and chicken fajitas, the perfect solution for a busy weeknight dinner. Located in the fresh food section, this fajita set comes ready with cooked meat, fresh vegetables, tortillas, and specialized avocado/guacamole. At $6.99 per pound, it breaks down to a very reasonable price for a complete meal without any time-consuming preparation. Urban Pie Pizza. This two-pack of Urban Pie pizzas costs $10.69, which breaks down to only about $5 per large restaurant-quality pizza. The artisan-style crust is a distinct difference worth trying compared to conventional frozen pizza lines. Cherry jalapeno sauce. The combination of the sweetness of cherries and the moderate kick of jalapeno peppers creates an incredibly appetizing appetizer for parties. It pairs well when dipped with cheese or chips, and at $8.99, it is an easy price point to try a flavor that isn't widely common yet. Garlic roasted vegetables. Currently on clearance at $1.97 for a container of pre-cut and pre-seasoned vegetables infused with a rich garlic aroma. Just toss them into the oven or air fryer for a few minutes, and you instantly have a healthy side dish for dinner. At this price point, there is no reason to pass it up. Soban Korean Pantry Orange Sauce Chicken Poppers. These crunchy, bite-sized chicken drumstick-shaped snacks carry the sweet and tangy flavor of Chinese-style orange chicken. It might sound unusual, but it is incredibly addictive. At $8.69, it is a reasonable price to try once and see if it becomes a regular go-to snack. 11. Home organization. Green Made baskets. Green Made designed this basket with a two-in-one functionality in mind, and that is exactly what sets it apart from conventional storage baskets. It features a matte black powder-coated iron frame topped with a thick natural wood lid. When closed, the large basket instantly transforms into a charming side table next to the sofa to hold a cup of tea or a book you are currently reading. When opened, it serves as a well-ventilated mesh basket that keeps towels, throw blankets, or other linens inside from getting stuffy and developing a musty odor. At $34.99 for a two-pack, this dual design and functionality comes at a very reasonable price. The final group today features an improvement that Costco quietly made to the most familiar item in the house. And I think this is the most noteworthy thing of the entire trip. 12. Electronics Department. Kirkland batteries in the new cardboard box. This is probably the most satisfying improvement from today's trip, even though it might look minor at first glance. Costco has officially retired the hard plastic blister packaging, the very thing that always tested everyone's patience whenever they needed to replace batteries for a remote control or a blood pressure monitor. The new version is neatly arranged inside a smart cardboard box that opens and closes easily, making it simple to grab a battery or neatly store away the remaining ones. The quality of Kirkland batteries remains exactly the same, and at $15, there is no reason to buy them anywhere else. Curved monitors. As a solution to upgrade your home workspace, a price point of $200 is well worth considering, especially since curved monitors in the same segment on the market typically hover around $250 and up. The subtle curvature helps reduce eye strain when viewing multiple data windows simultaneously, and the smooth 165 Hz refresh rate handles both work tasks and evening entertainment beautifully. Shark Air Purifier. Shark is a highly trustworthy brand, and this air purifier offers a 1,500 square feet coverage area along with plenty of valuable features. The issue here isn't with the product itself, but rather with the timing. Next week's Prime Day is almost guaranteed to significantly pull down air purifier prices across the market, and Shark is usually on the list for the deepest discounts during every sales event. Today's list will change next week when Costco updates its shelves again. For the things that are still there, you're lucky. For the things that are gone, you can only regret missing out. The asterisk and the .97 ending on the price tags are the two signals you should keep an eye out for every time you visit from now on, not just today. You are paying $65 a year for a Costco membership, but 90% of members are only getting about half of its actual value. It's not because Costco is hiding it, but because no one has pointed out what's sitting right in front of them. You'd be awesome if you liked this video. 1. Getting the most out of Costco. If you have ever walked out of Costco with a receipt in one hand and a soda, and a $1.50 hot dog in the other, you are enjoying one of the strangest subsidized prices in American retail history. That price hasn't changed since 1984. 40 years. Through multiple waves of inflation, through COVID, through every price fluctuation, the hot dog is still $1.50. This isn't a case of Costco forgetting to raise the price. When top executives proposed adjusting it to $1.65, co-founder Jim Sinegal plainly stated that he would fire anyone who dared to make that decision. Costco takes a direct loss in every combo sold, and with over 150 million combos a year, that cumulative loss reaches tens of millions of dollars. They accept that because they know you will end your shopping trip with a hot meal, walk out the door feeling satisfied, and come back next week. In 2009, Costco even built its own hot dog manufacturing plant to control costs without relying on an outside supplier. Smart shoppers know how to take advantage of this. Instead of stopping by McDonald's or Subway on the way home, wrap up your grocery trip at the Costco food court. A $1.50 combo is how you recoup a portion of the value from the $65 annual membership fee you paid. 2. A lifesaver for the retirement budget. The hearing aid industry in the U.S. has operated under the same model for decades. You go to a clinic, the doctor tests your hearing, and then leads you into a small room filled with shiny glass cabinets to hand you a quote that makes your heart sink. An average of $4,600 a pair, and that figure doesn't count follow-up visits, programming adjustments, or warranty fees. Costco stepped into this market and completely changed the game. The Costco Hearing Aid Center now offers premium hearing aids from Jabra, Philips, and Rexton, all strictly vetted medical brands, at prices ranging from $1,599 to $1,699 a pair. That is a savings of $2,000 to $3,000 compared to private clinics for the exact same product quality. What makes the Costco Hearing Aid Center truly stand out isn't just the price. You get your hearing tested for free by a licensed specialist, not a salesperson. All cleaning, adjustment, and reprogramming services throughout the lifespan of the product don't cost an extra dime. Loss and damage insurance coverage is also built right into the purchase price, rather than being an add-on purchase like at private clinics. 3. High-quality prescription eyewear. Progressive lenses, the type most people over 50 need, typically cost anywhere from $300 to $500 at chains like LensCrafters or VisionWorks, and that figure doesn't even include the frames. Costco Optical offers Kirkland's signature HD progressive lenses for $199.99, which already includes all the coatings that outside stores charge for individually: anti-reflective, scratch-resistant, and UV protection. At LensCrafters, each additional coating costs an extra $50 to $100. Frames from Ray-Ban or Oakley at Costco are usually about 40% lower than the market average. Something I notice many people don't know is that you don't need a membership card to schedule an eye exam here, as the optical department operates independently under federal regulations. Walking in, getting your eyes checked, and then deciding whether to buy is entirely up to you. Next, I'm going to talk about a perk that most Costco members have paid for, but have never used even once. 4. Letting your perks freeze. Most major retailers nowadays have return policies, but how those returns actually work is a completely different story. 30 days, receipt required, original packaging only. Those conditions turn the return perk into a barrier, not real protection. Costco does it differently. Except for major electronics, which have a 90-day window, you can bring back almost anything at any time without needing to keep a paper receipt. Your entire purchase history is automatically stored under your membership card code, so walking into the service counter empty-handed is still enough. A blender running weak after a year? Bring it to the counter. A bedding set that isn't as described? Bring it to the counter. A canister of coffee that turns out not to match your family's taste buds after opening? You can bring that to the counter too. The point is that many people have already paid for this perk right inside their $65 annual membership fee without even knowing it. I've seen quite a few people bring home something they weren't satisfied with and then tuck it away in a corner of a cabinet, quietly taking a loss just because they were hesitant to go to the return counter. That is throwing money away. This policy exists for you to use it, not just to look at. 5. Learning the price tag code to hunt for deep discounts. Most people look at a price tag at Costco and only see a number. Longtime shoppers look at it and see a whole story. The last 2 digits of a price tag are a private language that Costco uses to communicate with its internal warehouses. And if you understand it, every grocery trip will be completely different. A price ending in .99 is a standard retail price, nothing special. But when you see .97, that is a signal from corporate headquarters, not from the local branch, that this item needs to be moved